And now, our feature presentation.
And now, being recorded in front of a live studio audience of people who would rather watch any other team play in the big game, it's the most random show on the internet. It's TBK Live.
Let's start a riot, dance in the fire. Let's take it higher, shine a little brighter. So what you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? So what you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Everybody come on, everybody come on, everybody sing na 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 na.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most random show on the internet. Welcome to TBK Live. Yes, I know it's our first show after Christmas, but look, I needed a break. I think we all needed a break. You guys needed a break from listening to me. That's why I'm starting a daily show, starting tomorrow. And no shit. So every weekday I'm gonna pick a topic. I'm gonna talk 15 or 20 minutes on it and just kind of bash things. That's kind of what's coming. It's your daily buzz. I said I was gonna do this like 2 years ago. Hey, 2 years late, but hey, we're doing it. So woohoo! It is Super Bowl weekend, and I can't say Super Bowl. Okay, so joining me today, by the way, is Brody. What up?
What up? What up? How's it going? How's it going?
I'm fucking tired. Before we get into that, I have not slept in what feels like forever. At this point, I feel like you might own a Tauntaun and are just waiting for the moment to slice it open.
Oh my God, it has been so balls cold here. Like, it's been all over the news, so this isn't like, news to anybody. But like to kind of give you a sort of example as to how actual cold it is. I work for Amazon outside of this stuff, and they closed the building. Now, this building services all of Illinois.
Wait. They closed it?
Right. My building, we service, like, when you order shit on Amazon, it gets sent to us, and then we ship it to you guys. And my building, it's been so cold that for the last 2 days in a row, they closed. They just said, you know what, you guys, it's too cold. We're closing up shop. Don't come into work today.
Your balls might fall off if you come into work today.
It's basically what they're saying. And
so let me ask you.
I knew the first day it was because like I stepped outside early in the morning to have a smoke and like all my nose hairs flash froze. So that was fun. And I couldn't even get the lighter to work, and I had breathing problems. I wasn't even outside for more than 5 minutes.
So just out of curiosity, do you remember that old toy that had like the two balls in it, and you would spin it around, it would just make a clacking sound?
I think so.
Is that what your nuts would do if you were outside for 5 minutes? Because like you could just swing your scrotum around, it would just make a clink, clink, clink,
click,
clink,
click,
clink,
click, 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 click. Yeah. Or it would be like a wind chime because, all my ball hair would freeze too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. So, yeah, it's been very, very exceptionally cold. Wednesday was worse. Today was bad.
They're lighting fire. Yesterday. Just to let everyone know, if you have not watched the news, they're lighting fire to the fucking tracks.
I just saw that on Facebook this morning.
To make sure they work.
Grief.
Which is great, because if a train goes flying by and there's fire coming from behind it, that's going to be a pretty cool sight. It's going to freak out some tweakers. And I'm super stoked about the idea of that.
Like, it is, statistically speaking, colder here than it is in, like, Antarctica and Siberia. Just to kind of put that into perspective.
So does that mean
is that where
you're taking your summer vacation to, or winter vacation next year? I'm going to Antarctica.
Well, I'm prepared for it now. Like, they posted pictures on like the NBC5 Chicago Facebook of the entire Lake Michigan being frozen over solid. It is one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
So so I know you can at least put on more layers of clothing. Like, I feel I'm better prepared, I think, equipped body wise, because I'm fat, for cold weather than I am hot weather. But I don't know if I'm like that equipped for -50. I don't know.
Well, to kind of correct that a little bit, the actual temperature was like in the -20s. It's just with the wind chill, it felt like -50s. I think the highest it got last night was like negative almost 30.
How are you keeping warm? Like, I figure your house is still cold as fuck.
No, it's not. I mean, our apartment building is old as well. I don't know if it's old. It's not old as fuck, but it's old. But it's pretty warm in here. I'm not gonna lie. Now, like I'm standing out by the patio door, and like the inside is frozen, like sealed shut. Like I couldn't open it if I wanted to, and it's been that way for the last couple days.
Fuck that, man. Fuck this weather.
And like all the windowsills, like now I'm walking into the kitchen, the windowsills are completely like frozen, solid.
Have you
shut.
been that dick that takes boiling water outside and throws it up yet?
Nope.
You should be.
I wanted to. I really wanted to.
And your
but
wife was like, look, dumbass, you're gonna sit
Don't
down. Yeah.
She's the voice of reason. I'm the idiot that wants to go do it.
Well, I can't blame you. Guys, don't forget to check out our store, Shop TBK, tbkmagazine.com/Shop TBK. Pick up an awesome t-shirt for you and your loved ones for this Valentine's. Get a special Valentine's Day present of a shirt that says, "That's what she said." Pick it up at Shop TBK. Okay, I figured you get that out of the way. So did you know that if you actually, so I learned something new about Super Bowl weekend, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl later.
Okay.
But right now, I did not know that if I titled this episode anything to do with the Super Bowl, I could be sued.
Really?
Yeah, so the NFL has such a fucking lockdown on the term Super Bowl that
But that feels like that's such a generalized term. Like you could say, like, I'm having a Super Bowl of cereal this morning. Oh, no, I'm getting sued by the NFL.
Well, no, that's different. But if you talk about football and say Super Bowl, the NFL can sue you, especially if you if you run a podcast or a radio show or throwing, like, you can't even advertise that you are having a Super Bowl party at your bar.
That seems absolutely counterintuitive because it's like that's free press for them.
Asinine?
Like you're giving them free advertising. Why would they want to sue you for that?
Because that's how, I guess, they revel over the name Super Bowl. Like, they have such a dick hard on for it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to me. So now
But
I was trying to think.
It's not even a spectacular name like Super Bowl. Like,
No, there are better.
WrestleMania is a better name than Super Bowl.
And no one's going to sue us for using WrestleMania in a podcast title because I've done it. So, like, no, I might actually call this episode the Super Bowl of cereal. Like, I just see what happens.
Done. Puns everywhere. Puns for the masses.
Puns for all. A pun for you. A pun for... It's like that Oprah meme. Like, you get a pun and you get a pun.
You get a pun. You get a pun.
So we're going to talk about that. No, I just found that out because I was going to title the very first episode of The Daily Buzz something to do with the Super Bowl, and then learn all the different shit about the Super Bowl, because that's what The Daily Buzz's first topic is the Super Bowl, and talking about how I'm just not interested.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Beyond the Patriots, like who else is playing? Who are the Patriots playing?
The Los Angeles Rams. Sorry, I just realized they have moved from St. Louis. Hold on, I apologize to everyone in St. Louis. I am so sorry.
You know, the NFL has gotten really good at getting nerds to watch football.
Because they're
And
putting
we'll talk about it later. We'll go more in depth.
Well, we'll go into that in a minute. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some news that has happened. We haven't done a show since. Oh, let's talk about the Nutsies. Let's start there.
Okay.
Before we get into anything, guys, the Nutsy Awards is taking place on this show February 18th. So a little backstory, because so I was actually tweeted at by a musician.
Who is prominent musician?
Well, one of the artist spotlight musicians that Mandas wrote about.
Oh, okay.
And asked me, why is it called the Nutsy Awards? And I feel like I have to go through this spiel every fucking year, and I'm happy about it, because that means people are new or coming into the website. So I'm just going to talk about that right now. The Nutsy Awards are named after a stuffed squirrel that my mom gave me before she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. And that squirrel goes everywhere with me. In fact, it was with me in Chicago when we were at All In. So that thing goes everywhere, gets pictures everywhere. That is the plan with the squirrel. And if you get a picture with the squirrel, we donate so much money to alls.org.
Oh, well, that's a good cause.
So that's why,
considering where the squirrel came from.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Nutsy Awards. It's named after the squirrel. This year's Nutsy Awards has even more of a sentimental value to me. It's kind of sad. Do I talk about that?
Well, it's your podcast, it's your magazine. Talk about
Well, yeah, all right. Yeah, thanks. All right, fuck it. No, February 18th, the reason it's picked is also the day my mom passed away.
Oof.
Yeah, no, I was like, I hate that day, and I've got to do something to make it better. So my idea,
What better day than to have the Nutsy Awards?
yeah,
Absolutely.
so to make something better, but also found out my wife is having surgery. Ashley's having surgery on that day, so now I'm like, oh fuck tits. So
Live from the hospital. It's the Nutsy Awards.
Yeah, no, there's a reason why voting ends on February 13th and not the 17th this year. Like I planned this out, so just in case. So hopefully spoilers don't get leaked somewhere, and if they do, it's gonna be on my own fucking website by me because I'm a dumbass. But all right. So let's start. If you go to tbkmagazine.com, click on featured, go to the Nutsy Awards. You can vote. We're gonna start with television. We're gonna do television awards. Are you a fan of animated shows?
I very much am. Like, what are we talking? Like classic anime or like adult cartoons?
Well,
like
both
Bob's Burgers
actually.
and stuff.
Both actually, and a couple of kids cartoons. So here's the best anime. Here's what's up. We're gonna start with television. It's the very first category we posted this year. So here is what's up for best animated series, and let me know if you've seen any of these because I doubt. I'm guessing 3. I'm gonna say you've watched 3 of these.
Okay. Hit me.
Up first, Steven Universe.
I would like, that's a show that I keep meaning to watch,
It's good.
but I haven't.
That show is so fucking good. It is so good. And I don't get it. I don't know why. I have a poster on my wall right now of a quote from that damn show that says, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
That is genius.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, and every time the theme song plays, I sing along with it. I don't know what's wrong with me. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Fuck all y'all. That's my jam. You fuck off. Like
Now, before you continue, I have a question.
Oh,
as
God.
not only
yes, I'm a brony.
an employee of the magazine, but as a fan, how do the nominees get picked?
I actually send out a newsletter. So if you subscribe to our email service, yes, that is there on the website as well. You get a newsletter and you get to vote for your favorites.
Okay.
So it actually goes to the fans first, and then it goes to the people. Now,
Gotcha.
there are some that you don't get much back on, and I just kind of fill it in myself. But
Okay. That makes
Big
sense.
Big Mouth from Netflix. I don't know if you've watched
I
that.
love Big Mouth. It's like one time I was hanging out at the car dealership getting my oil changed, and I forgot to bring my headphones. So I was watching Big Mouth on my phone, and this old lady was sitting next to me like, what the fuck is this guy watching?
Great show
It's
to choose.
so
from.
funny. So funny.
BoJack Horseman.
I have been a BoJack Horseman champion since the beginning. I fucking love that show. It's so dark and demented, but so funny.
There was 2 animes that almost made this list, and only one did. But the one that made it is My Hero Academia.
I haven't watched. I've just recently started again trying to get into anime. There are some animes I like One Punch Man is my favorite.
I see a cosplay
like
for that
Attack
at
on-
least every convention.
Attack on Titan I like too. So I'm into some anime. And that's one that's always on my list, but I never get to for whatever
And
reason.
Adventure Time.
Oh, come on, Adventure Time, baby.
So what are you? You know what we're gonna do? Whatever you pick is with our vote. So what are you picking?
Go through the list again one more time.
Steven Lernerverse. You want to know what happens when you don't sleep, everybody? This is what it's gonna be all day. I have no energy whatsoever. Steven Universe, My Little Pony, Big Mouth, BoJack Horseman, My Hero Academia, and Adventure Time.
I gotta go with BoJack. I think I like BoJack. I gotta go BoJack, hands down.
All right, so reality series, and yes, there is a best reality series, and I'm gonna tell you now. I've tried to get you since you've started doing shows with me to watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
I never do, and it's not because I don't want to. It always just
You forget about it.
Yeah, but you hit me with it. What do we got?
RuPaul's Drag Race, because
Mhm.
Making It, which if you've not seen Making It on Netflix, it is hilarious.
I haven't.
It is about it's a cooking show. No, Making It was the wrong. That's the wrong show. Making It was hosted by Amy Poehler and Ron Swanson. And crap. Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman, yes. Sorry, I moved. Brain fart.
And it's a really funny reality show. You can check it out on Hulu. Hell's Kitchen. Every year, this show ends up on the best reality show list. I personally think this is one of my favorite reality shows, but I'm glad that I always see it on this list because I have it on my bucket list to be called a fucking donut by Gordon Ramsay.
There's that other show that Gordon Ramsay used to do that I really, really, really like.
Hotel Hell or Kitchen Nightmares?
Kitchen Nightmares.
I've been watching YouTube videos of that religiously lately.
Kitchen Nightmares is fucking hysterical. Watching him go into these places that are just like total shit pits and just these people who are so cocky about their restaurants and he just fucking tears them down. Oh my God, it makes my day.
Next up is the new Queer Eye on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed It. Okay, so Nailed It is on Netflix as well, and Nailed It is hilarious. Nailed It is a baking show where they don't know how to bake. So they take like this nice, awesome cake, and they put 3 people who can't bake at all to try to make it.
Interesting.
And it's hosted by one of the funniest people ever. We did an interview with a girl I went to high school with, and you can check out her interviews. She's also an author and an actress. We did an interview with her last year right after she did the show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of funny. So check out Nailed It on Netflix. Dancing Queen, which is a Dance Moms kind of show, but hosted by one of the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, and it is fantastic.
Is that all the nominees?
No, there's one more. And of course, this list would not be complete without the greatest reality show ever. And this is the one I decided to put on the list. I didn't even care. It got votes. There was a tie in this category. Live PD. So there you go. There's your reality series. Do you need me to go through all those, or do you have your answer?
I mean, just by proxy of not really having watched a lot of reality TV, I got to go with, Gordon Ramsay.
So, by the way, all of those reality shows are actually good. None of them are shitty, which makes me happy that everyone voted that way. Like, I didn't see The Bachelor, I think, once out of anybody's votes, which makes me very happy.
Good stuff. Yeah, I like reality TV, but like super fucked up reality TV.
I want fun reality.
And my wife stayed home from work yesterday, so we sat in the living room for like the first couple hours we were home together, and we watched Dr. Pimple Popper.
I love her videos.
They're so messed up. And then we watched My 600-Pound Life.
So there's something about Dr. Pimple Popper that there's a hall induction waiting to happen. Like, I don't understand why I enjoy her videos. And I don't know why. I hate blood. I cannot stand blood.
I can't stand blood either, but we were watching it, and she sliced open this lipoma of this one person yesterday, and what spilled out looked like rice pudding. It was the most disgusting thing. But I was like,
I hope everybody listening to this,
motion.
I hope somebody listening was eating rice pudding as you said that.
But Hell's Kitchen or the Gordon Ramsay one, just because I haven't really seen any of the other ones.
Best sitcom.
All right, let's do this one.
The Goldbergs.
Okay.
The Good Place.
Okay.
Superstore.
Okay.
American Vandal. And Letterkenny.
Oh, this is a tough call.
This is the hardest category for me. One of the hardest categories we've ever posted personally.
The two that I like the most out of that group are Superstore and American Vandal.
I love American Vandal, and I hope somewhere picks up American Vandal.
I think I got to go American Vandal on that one. I love
the turd burglar.
The Superstore is great because it's like an NBC sitcom version of Clerks.
It's The Office in a grocery. It's The Office in Walmart.
It is. I give you that one too. But when American Vandal first came out, like the very first season, I went around everywhere that I went. I was like,
Drew
who did
Dix.
the dicks?
Yeah,
who did the dicks? It was just,
great.
It made me, what the genius behind that show is that they don't at all play it for a joke whatsoever.
Oh, and it came out at such the right time. It came out right after Making a Murderer took off, and it's like, oh, this is so good.
It is played so deadly serious and so flat, but it is so funny because every time they talk about dicks or shits or whatever, you just like, if that were me making that show, I'd be laughing my ass off through the
they
whole
had
production.
to
I
have.
wouldn't be able to keep a straight face.
I do think that show goes to YouTube Red. I think eventually, like this is going to be one of the first big pickups for YouTube personally, or Amazon Prime Video, because that show's going to continue because it was one of the biggest shows on Netflix, and I don't understand why they canceled it. But
Netflix is canceling everything these days. It looks like,
especially
but no,
if it's
I gotta
owned by
go-
Disney. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. American Vandal was actually owned by ABC.
But American Vandal for sure, because that, like, the fact that it's just they took this absolutely ridiculous concept and they played it so straight, and they made it so, like, to be honest with you, and maybe this just speaks to my intelligence level, but throughout the first season, I legit thought it was a real thing they were investigating. Like,
Oh no, so did I. So did I.
I did not get in on the joke until almost the season was over.
So we watched season 2. You've seen season 2, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So Ashley and I were watching season 2, and we started to try to figure it out as if it was real, because we forgot at some point watching it. Like, who is the turd burglar? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that.
The fucking turd burglar. And so, like, the second season was good, but at that point, I knew it was a fake. Like, I knew it wasn't real. So some of the humor didn't fall as funny.
Is
as
the
the
second
first
season better though in general? Because I, honest to God, found myself laughing much harder during season 2.
There are bigger laughs in season 2
when everyone's
but-
shitting on the floor.
Oh my God. The fact that they got actors to willingly shit all over themselves. Like, I had friends
That has
I
to be
recommended
CGI
that show
shit.
to, and they watched it and they're dead set on it being real. Like, that was a real thing that happened. I'm like, no, dude, it's all fake.
The advertisement,
like, it's not real.
The advertising on that show made it real. So there was this viral video hit of these kids shitting in a school, and then all of a sudden I see it in American Vandal, and I went, "That's some damn good marketing."
Fucking A, right? So yeah, I got to go American Vandal, hands down.
Worst show of the year. Oh God.
Here we go.
The Proposal, which is a reality show where people get engaged within 20 minutes.
So, like, every fucking reality dating show ever.
Except all composed into one episode.
That's so stupid.
Meet the Connors / Roseanne.
I think Meet the Connors is better than Roseanne. I wouldn't even put the two of them together. And maybe this is just, politics creeping into it, but just the way that Roseanne turned out to be. Like, I watched a couple episodes of the Roseanne relaunch, and I thought it was funny, but I thought
didn't
it was
hate
too
it.
political.
I didn't. Yeah, no, that's my thing. I didn't hate it, but I enjoyed a lot of the. Well, I enjoyed the characters on on Roseanne, especially some of the new ones. Like, I actually enjoy how
The way they
show's gone.
integrated the two actresses who played Becky,
That was funny
fun.
as fuck.
but Roseanne, when it came back, was amusing, but it wasn't funny because it just was way too political. But then when Roseanne left, they came back and rebranded it as Meet the Connors. Then it became more like the Roseanne as we used to know it. Like, they stopped focusing on the politics so much, and it was just like good old-fashioned sitcom. Now, it still wasn't very good, but it was better than when Roseanne Barr was on it. So,
But it did show up in a lot of people's ballots going forward, so I was like, I have to put this.
that's fine. That's fair.
Kevin Can Wait. It's Kevin James' new sitcom on CBS.
So the king of, like, I remember, if I'm thinking of the same show, I remember seeing a trailer or something on YouTube about it and thinking, like, so this is just King of Queens Part 2.
Do you know they killed off the original wife on the show and tried to bring back the wife from King of Queens?
Leia Scientology Ramini or whatever her name is.
Here and Now, which I don't know what this show's about. It was on HBO. It was on a lot of people's list.
I've never heard of that show.
And Insatiable on Netflix, and I actually enjoy that one. So,
I haven't watched or heard of that one either.
So do you have a vote here?
I guess I'll go Roseanne. Meet the Connors or whatever the name of the rebrand was.
It's Meet the Connors / Roseanne, because apparently everybody was like, "Hey, look, this has to make your list." And I'm like, I don't enjoy that, but it is what it is.
It was amusing. Like, I'm not trying to put the show down, but it was such, like, having watched the old show back in the day throughout my childhood,
Oh, the
having grown
original's
up on
so
it,
good.
it was so good and so, like, it felt so relatable. Especially being from like a Midwest family who, middle income Midwest family, like, it just felt relatable. And this new version is so the polar opposite. Like, it felt like it was just a platform for Roseanne to preach her politics. And the thing that really bothered me was, maybe it just wasn't me paying attention, but watching the old Roseanne episodes never felt like a political show. And then all of a sudden, the Roseanne Barr gets on this new rebrand, and she starts like spewing Trump support and all this, and like, your politics may be whatever, and we're not here to talk about that. But good old-fashioned family entertainment should just do that, entertain. Not everything needs to be having a stance. Not everything needs to be political. Sometimes you just want to be entertained. You want to forget about the shittiness that's dividing the world. And that's what the original Roseanne did. It was just fun. It was serious when it needed to be, but it was fun, family entertainment for the most part. And this new rebrand just totally missed the mark on that whatsoever. So I got to give it to that one.
All right, show of the year, man. This is. I gotta tell you, I did not expect 2 of these shows to make this list.
All right, let's hit it.
First up, Doctor Who.
I mean, that's my like default answer, depending on what the rest of the ones are.
There's some of these this one's pretty tough for me too. Next up, The Haunting of Hill House.
Ooh,
Can I tell you
a
something?
Fucking good one.
I hated this show.
Really?
I tried, and like, I watched it with Ashley, and I tried, and I'm like,
You know what
don't
I
see
think
the
it
appeal
is?
here.
And not to like hijack your opinion, certainly, but other people
Your opinion's
I've
a piece of
talked
shit.
But I think talking to other people that have watched the show, I think the thing that's rubbing people the wrong way is the manner in which the story is told. Like, it's told in like a lot of flashbacks, and like a lot of the main like current story is, if I remember in the earlier episodes, kind of left by the wayside. It's not a particular, like, people when they watch like horror movies,
They just want it to be linear.
It's very linear, and it's very like it's not very slow paced. Horror movies in general are at least some of the more widely mainstream accepted ones are very fast paced, propulsive entertainment, constantly moving forward, don't slow down, scares, gore, blah blah.
And
blah, blah.
this one does get slow, but that's not my issue. I think every character in this show are just bitchy. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I couldn't get into any of the characters except one.
Every character on this show, to some degree, is a piece of shit.
Oh, and that's
there
why
really aren't.
Okay, so a good show, you got to get relatable. Like, I feel like you have to have someone that you can actually latch onto. And this show, I just couldn't latch onto anybody.
But you know what the thing is? Like, let's take the character of the father, played by Timothy Hutton. He is made out to be a piece of shit throughout the whole series. Like, he's made out to seem like he has very dubious reasons, and like he's just kind of you're led to believe that he's not like a great character or been a great father until like the final episode, when the whole time he's been making like the ultimate sacrifice for his family. You find out like in the like twist or whatever at the end.
Spoilers.
I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to spoil what actually happened. But he makes this kind of sacrifice for his family that you're not really privy to. And I like slow burn horror. I really, really do. I do like, your fast paced horror movies, but I also like a good slow burn. And I think The Haunting of Hill House is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
So, do you want to know something sad?
What's that?
I called the ending of this show halfway through the first episode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not a terribly, like, you're not like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened.
Someone explained to me how you watch, like, okay, so this show was known to give people, like, anxiety attacks. How?
I never once could, I heard that. I heard a bunch of people talking about how scary it was. It was never, like, even...
The Sound of Music is more scary than this show.
Like, even take it out of context. Like, you and I are in our 30s. We've seen all types of scary movies, so we're kind of desensitized to this shit. So maybe put it in the context of someone who isn't really into horror movies and horror related things, and they watch it. Even then, it's not terribly scary.
There's another show on this list that I felt was more dark and demented than more dark and better than this show.
Okay, let's.
But we'll
keep
get
going
there.
then.
Glow.
Still haven't watched it.
Season 3 of Glow, or season 2 or 3 of Glow is just fantastic. If you haven't seen that yet, go for it. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
That's I think going to be the next one I sit down and watch, because I saw my roommate watching it and it just looks funny as
The
fuck.
better version. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, I think you just called my favorite show of the year.
And for the one that shocks me that I did not expect to see on this list, so congratulations to everyone who voted this, Cobra Kai on YouTube. It's really good, by the way. But no, I've got it for me personally, it's between Sabrina and Glow.
It's Sabrina, hands down. Like, Sabrina
Great
blows
show.
everything out of the water. Like, I love The Haunting on Hill House, but Sabrina is just Sabrina.
You want to talk about a reboot
it-
that they actually did really well? It's that one.
Like, that show takes a pre-existing property that you are kind of familiar with, but maybe haven't watched in a while, and totally takes the important aspects of it and totally runs away and does its own thing. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is a reboot, remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, done absolutely perfectly right in every aspect.
100%.
It's funny, it's scary, it's gory, it's thrilling. Character work is amazing. You're invested in everybody.
I love the cast. Like, that is one show where I'm like, oh my God, I grew up watching. You probably did too.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I
like,
loved that they went in the absolute opposite direction. And if you're an eagle-eyed fan, you'll notice the tangential connections to another show, Riverdale.
I can't get into that show though.
I do love Riverdale.
I'm going to give
Riverdale
it another
is
try,
like the
though.
CW version of Twin Peaks. And if anyone who is listening to any of our podcasts,
Oh God, they know that you love, you have a
they
hard
know
on
that
for
I love
show.
my Twin Peaks. So watching Riverdale is like the CW version of Twin Peaks. So I'm down.
I'm going to
I
give
like it.
Riverdale another shot, I think, because when I watched it, I was kind of in a bad place. So I'm going to give it another shot later this year.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay.
When I first, I don't really like CW shows all that much. So when someone had recommended that I watch Riverdale, I was like, get the fuck out of here. It's just like a CW teeny bopper version of Twin Peaks. And she's like, that's why you should watch it. So I sat down and I burned through the whole first season in 3 days. I was so riveted by what I was watching.
So,
put in the right context.
I feel like the next category is your category. We're going to movies.
Let's do it.
We're going to start with animated, because again, that's kind of how this goes. We're going to kick off with The Incredibles 2.
You know what? Incredibles 2 was awesome. Just not as good as the first one.
The new Grinch movie.
Haven't seen it yet.
Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Haven't seen it. Oh, no. Breaks the Internet.
It's
Again,
the second one.
Excellent follow-up. Just not as good as the first one.
Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Haven't seen that one.
And what I expect to win this category, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Come on. Are you kidding me? Is there any contest? That movie, that is the best Spider-Man movie, period, ever made.
I
Hands
agree.
down, throw away the key.
I agree. The worst movie of the year, 50 Shades Freed. I'm just going to let everyone know I enjoy those movies.
They're so trashy. It's so much fun.
Which will be a running series of Cinecrap later this year. I don't know when, but we're going to do all 3 movies back to back to back.
Oh, God.
Gotti.
Me in.
Gotti.
Which one?
Gotti.
Gotti. I don't watch John Travolta movies anymore. That butthole on his chin is just too distracting.
That episode. If you haven't seen Video Killed for Christmas, I did it. There's a Christmas music video of John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John getting back together. His hairline is so spray painted on in that video. It is fucking weird.
Oh, fucking John Travolta.
The Death of a Nation. This is a documentary where the documentary person makes a comparison between Abraham Lincoln and Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, that's definitely going to ruffle a few feathers. I saw The Death of a Nation, and I don't think it's the worst movie was released all year last year. It's a polarizing one for sure. You have to be in the right mindset, or you have to approach it from the right angle. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just a very strong movie.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. It is a stupid, fun, like, when you're growing up, one of the things that is a hallmark, at least for me, it was in the entertainment that I digested, was like giant monsters and giant robots.
Godzilla
So
looks
growing up
fucking
at
amazing, by the way.
Fucking Godzilla, man. So like, imagine seeing, giant robots fighting giant monsters. Like it wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it was entertaining. And at the end of the day, if I plunk down money to go see a movie and I at least walk out saying like, oh well, that was kind of entertaining, then that's a win for me.
Show Dogs. And Holmes and Watson, which I have not seen, but I still want to.
I heard that got like the dreaded 0%
Okay,
on Rotten Tomatoes.
I want to talk about something before we go. Why the hell do we put so much fucking stake in Rotten Tomatoes?
You know what's funny? That's Rotten Tomatoes is not even like it's people. I think sometimes forget it's an aggregate website. It's not like if you get a rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't mean that website is giving you the thumbs down. It means it compiles like say.
Do you know who owns Rotten Tomatoes?
What's up?
Do you know who owns Rotten Tomatoes?
Who?
Fandango.
Oh, well, fuck Fandango.
Just want to point that out. Like, I mean, the ticket sales, they dictate what's going to do well. I fucking hate
theories about.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do this unpopular opinion where I just think Rotten Tomato scores should be considered rotten. I don't know. Like, I fucking hate everything about Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I love having movie reviews. And I love seeing user reviews because you can do that on Rotten Tomatoes. And I would rather see user reviews than see critics' reviews, even though we do movie reviews.
Well, that's why I like Metacritic a little bit more than Rotten Tomatoes.
I like Metacritic.
Metacritic, I think, is more focused on user reviews than Rotten Tomatoes. I think Metacritic is more they compile critic reviews too, but I think they place the focus or the emphasis more on the user reviews. So like when something gets a lower or higher score on that, then that's when
because there are people who try to take over the score on certain movies. Like it happened with Wonder Woman, where fans would just go vote more terrible just to lower the score, and
they just review bomb it, and that
happened with the new Ghostbusters movie too, the all-female cast, because that's one reason why it has such a low score on that website because it got bombed. I fucking hate Rotten Tomatoes.
Let me tell a little story and then we'll get back into it. I used to live by critic reviews. Like if a critic reviewed a movie bad, then I wouldn't go see it. But there was one movie that came out that I was so fucking excited to see. And I went to go see it and I loved it. Like it was everything I wanted. The Tom Jane version of The Punisher.
I was going to say it's Geely, isn't it? It's Geely.
No. I love that movie. I like the Punisher character. I like Tom Jane as an actor. John Travolta was actually well cast as a sniveling weasel of a bad guy. He had
actually hair in that movie.
His fucking hair should have won an Oscar award. Like that movie, while it didn't reinvent the wheel, it wasn't going to be nominated for any awards. It did what I wanted to do, and I loved it. I would have given it a 3 stars. So then I came home and I read Roger Ebert's review when he was still alive. And his review was a 1.5 star, and he just trashed the movie. And that was the day that I broke my, I can't do this anymore because I love that movie. How can I love it and this guy hates it? Then I realized they don't make those types of movies for him. They make them for me. So then I just kind of started leaving it. It's interesting to read articles about, review bombing and how people put such stock in Rotten Tomatoes. But at the end of the day, if you've read any one of my reviews for the site, I don't think I typically, except for maybe the first 2, I don't give a numbered score. I kind of just review it and give my opinions of it. I think the very first review I ever did for you, I gave a 4 out of 10.
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to like what you like. Don't let the critics sway you one way or the other. They might hate it and you might love it, and vice versa,
It's really your opinion. That's what matters in the watching of the movie. It's up to you.
All right, so run through the list one more time for me.
Okay, so 50 Shades Freed, Gotti, The Death of a Nation, Pacific Rim Uprising, Show Dogs, and Holmes and Watson.
Oh my God, that's tough because I'm going to go. I think I'm gonna go shockingly Pacific Rim.
Oh wow! All right.
Just because like I love that style of movie, but the first one is so good,
Yeah, no,
and the
the
second,
one doesn't
just
live up to that first one.
falls so short because the first one is Guillermo del Toro, and if you're worth your salt in movie fandom, you know that guy is a god amongst men in terms of making movies. So that first one was fucking fantastic, and the second one just felt like all the magic got drained out.
All
of
right.
it. So I'll give it to that.
So before we go in, I'm going to let you know there's a ton of movies for movie of the year because there was a lot of votes in this one, a lot, and
Okay.
I feel like a lot of these we've discussed to no end. So let's
do
Avengers Infinity War,
No brainer.
Aquaman.
Still haven't seen it yet.
Neither have I. If that says anything.
I'm a huge DC fan, and I just haven't had the time.
Well,
to
we
go out and
bought
see
we
it.
got a projector, so I'm not so worried about seeing movies in the theater as much anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I can sit at home and watch them now on the projector. That's because we watched Dumplin' that way on Netflix, and that was fantastic.
Interesting.
Mary Poppins Returns. I've seen a ton of votes on that, which does not baffle me. Deadpool
Mhm.
2,
Great movie, just not as good as the first one.
A Quiet Place,
Oh God, such a good movie.
Black Panther,
Yeah.
Spider-Man
I
Into
can
the
see it.
Spider-Verse,
Ooh, this is getting tough.
A Star is Born. Oh, it gets worse.
No, garbage.
Oh, shit. Did you
Fucking
see it?
Hated that movie.
Oh, my God. I haven't seen it yet, but I know a lot of people love it. And I
I
love
watched
it.
the whole time I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, what
It's
is
a remake.
so special about this movie that is making like everyone talk about it? Like there is
The music.
there are a million movies about musicians who start from the bottom and rise to like a million. More of those types of movies than maybe even horror movies. So what the fuck is so special? Like the music is fine. It's fine.
You know what movie
It's
I
not
couldn't
great.
stand when I was younger, but now I fucking love?
What's that?
Oh, crap. Is it Doing That Thing You Do?
That Thing You Do.
That Thing
the
You Do,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hated that movie. Now I fucking love that movie.
Exactly. Like it's you see, like there are a dime a dozen movies like that about these musicians.
Airheads.
There is no, huh? Fucking Airheads. Like Lady Gaga is
Airheads
fine.
is shit.
Bradley Cooper is fine. It's not.
I
It's
think Lady
not
Gaga's a
technically
decent actress.
Bad movie, but it's just so boring and middle of the road. And there is nothing special about it.
It's
whatsoever.
music. It's the music. 100%. Bumblebee.
I liked Bumblebee. It
Everyone-
was the Transformers movie we should have gotten from the beginning.
I was going to say, everyone is saying it's the best Transformers movie.
Absolutely.
Black Klansman.
Oh, I love that fucking movie. It's so
It's good.
So good.
Won't You
It's
Be
so
My Neighbor?
funny.
The movie about, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
I haven't seen that one yet.
And Halloween.
Oh God.
Yeah, this is a tough one too.
Okay, so all right, let me work through this for a few minutes here. So my top three out of that list are A Quiet Place, Black Klansman, and Halloween.
Right.
Black Klansman is fucking awesome, and I've like realistically, I hope that wins all the awards. I know it's not going to.
I think
but
it has a
fucking
chance
that
of winning
movie
an Oscar.
is
Hands down.
Genius. Like watching Adam Driver as a Jewish cop play a racist undercover Klansman is spot on. And Denzel Washington's son playing the cop who's talking to the Klansman, and watching Topher Grace play David Duke, like that movie is so great. But if anybody knows who I am as a person, they know that my love of movies always comes from horror films. So it's got to come down to A Quiet Place versus Halloween. Now, it's hard to tell because you got one which is a sequel to a very, very long-running franchise, and you got one which is a completely original piece of work from a guy you would never have expected.
It's
to
Jim
make
from
a
The
movie like
Office.
that.
It's Jim from the fucking.
So you got to tell yourself, like, do you take the originality or do you take the sequel? And the originality is great. So is the sequel. It's tough, but I think at the end of the day, I got to give it to Halloween. Halloween came out through, like, if there's one thing that's a rule of horror films in any sort of successful franchise, whether it's Chucky or Pinhead, Freddy, Leatherface, Michael, whoever. They all have more bad movies than good. But this movie, 40 years after the original came out, proved that there is still magic to be mined in this franchise. Jamie Lee Curtis coming back was just fucking electrifying to watch. Michael was scary again. Like, this movie, I'm going to put this out there, is the perfect movie. I could not find one fucking fault the entire time I was watching it. It was beautiful.
Is Michael Myers still wearing the reverse William Shatner mask?
He is, and in fact, I mean, I don't think it's the same mask, but they degraded it to make it look like it had been 40 years. And that was the genius of the movie, is they wrote it and produced it in such a way that ignores everything between the very original one from 1978 to this one. This is a sequel to that very first one, so it cuts out all the Thorn cult crap, cuts out the shitty storyline of Michael being brother-sister with Laurie, which I was never really a big fan of. Like, this movie is just front to back flawless. I gotta go Halloween.
All right, well, that does that. Don't forget to vote for your favorite episodes of TBK radio episodes and TBK radio interviews as well during the Nutsies, which you can find on our website. By the way, the episode of the year is probably one of the toughest categories for me to vote in this year.
How many? What are the episodes?
Oh God, give me a minute. I have to. You know, there are times when you need the internet to actually work.
Yeah, I've been having problems, especially with the weather being what it is. Like, our cable box keeps going in and out. Like, I was watching this movie earlier called Ghosts of Mars, which is this really trashy mid-90s John Carpenter movie with Ice Cube. It is one of my favorite trashy movies of all time. And it is crap, but it's just near and dear to my heart. And the box just kept going out like every 5 minutes.
Gotta love that shit. I hate watching stuff and then it goes out. By the way, video game of the year. Let's go over those. There's a random category as well with video game and YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Video game is Red Dead Redemption 2, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, the new God of War, Celeste, which looks amazing, and I want to play it now, and Spider-Man.
I think it's between Red Dead 2 and Spider-Man.
I'll tell you which one I personally voted for.
Which one did you vote for?
Red Dead 2.
I think I'm going to buck the trend, and I'm going to go Spider-Man.
And then YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out these YouTube channels, you should. Good Mythical Morning, of course. I love that. That's how I start my day. Shane Dawson's channel, which last year he did interviews with like some of the most controversial YouTubers. And they're really good. Did he
do an interview? Is Logan Paul one of those
Jake
people?
Paul is one of them.
Oh, okay.
And he does an entire like 5-part series about Jake Paul's life, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Where you see a side of him you don't see in the YouTube videos, and it's so off the beat. Like, it's so crazy. I just didn't expect to enjoy it. But my personal favorite one he does is with Jeffree Star. So there's that. And then he does another one with another YouTuber, and it's really good. And then the Valley Folk, which is a comedy YouTube channel, and they're new, but it also has some of the guys you'll see people you've recognized from other things.
Okay. I mean, let's go with you. You pick this one because I mean, other than like some old standbys, I don't really get invested in a lot of new YouTube channels. I mean, there's a few. Like, I like Angry Video Game Nerd. That's
check out Cinemassacre. That is now my new channel, my go-to channel, because I have been religiously, and yes, I say this, religiously watching all of their shows.
The Cinemassacre in general is just genius. Like you and I were talking about the other day, they don't put out a lot of content, but the content that they do produce is super quality. Whether it's, James and Mike Mondays, whether it's the Angry Video Game Nerd videos, whether it's the video rental, I forget the specific title of that series, but you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, where they're in the video store. Yeah,
right. just like everything that they do put out is just so quality entertainment that I will always be a fan of his or theirs, and I guess you should say.
And check those out. But yeah, and finally, talk about this real quick. TBK radio shows, of course, you're live, the Winos, SNS, YWW, Are You Still Watching, and Cinecrap. But there is the episode of the year. Yeah, man, that was the toughest one that I have ever had to put together.
How many were up for it?
7.
Can you talk about
Yes,
it?
yes. No, I'm not going to tell you what's winning, but of course, there's the episode that me and you did over Stanley.
Okay.
Which, by the way, that reminds me, I got to go off on a tangent.
No, God, I think I know what you're talking about.
TBK Live number 124, Phil and the terrible, horrible, no good $600 Tinder date from hell. If you have not listened to this, it's about a girl who pisses his own bed. He pisses his bed, so that's fun.
Ooh, I got to go back and listen to that.
Yeah,
one.
it's 2 hours of that story. It is hilarious. The 2018 Nutsy Awards, of course. The Winos number 20, which is the return of one of the original co-hosts. Cinecrap number 6, The Wiggles, Go Santa Go. Which might be the most downloaded show in website history now at this point. The Spirits of Christmas, where we just get drunk. And SNS number 50, Book Before Flip, which is the show that we announced that we were going to be part of StarCast.
I feel like I can't vote in this because I feel the natural inclination to vote for my own episode, but I'm gonna. I don't think this is one we should vote for on air because I don't want to.
Oh no, I'm not, because there's a problem here. I was on all of them. Just want to point that out. I did all of those, but that you'll vote for that. Can I do my rant?
Is this about Bill Maher?
Fuck Bill Maher. Fuck this old fuck. Okay, so let me go off on this.
It's funny, when he first made that first comment about Stan Lee, I said I didn't let it bother me too much. I'm like, whatever. This guy is clearly just there's no fun in his life. He hasn't gotten laid in many years. He thinks he's edgy. He thinks he's funny, but he's not in any way, shape, or form. Like, he's just an unfunny dude, and he just said some edgelord shit to ruffle some feathers, whatever. But then
3 months later,
then when he doubles back down on everything he said and he starts insulting Kevin Smith, that's when I get pissed off.
All right, so first of all, this is to Bill Maher. I get it. I get that you have no life and that you have no fun, and to say comic books is not a medium that should be put in with authors like Shakespeare and Melville and Steinbeck and those. I get that. I understand that argument more than I do anything else this cockstain said. Because there are some comic books that should never be in a conversation that was literature.
But to be fair,
there's Mouse.
But to be fair to that statement.
To be fair. Sorry.
To be fair to that statement, indubitably, vis-a-vis, concordantly, as so. When the type of literature that you're lambasting on a nationally syndicated TV show that is reached by millions is more recognized and read by more people than the works of Steinbeck and Shakespeare, then you've got a problem. It might not be cool to admit to some people that you read comic books or that you've read more comic books than you've read classic literature, but this is the current mythology. These are our Greek gods. This is our Zeus, our Hercules, and so on and so forth. So for you to say that it's not worth standing next to the greats of classic literature when this is this era's version of classic literature shows that you are woefully out of touch with the current cultural zeitgeist, and you need to shoot yourself in the dick with a shotgun.
So, Jesus. Well, here's the other thing, too. This guy's been hosting this show for years. And, I mean, it's a different show, but, I mean, it's still... He became relevant in 1998. Majorly relevant because of Politically Incorrect on ABC.
Right.
Here's the thing. The fan base for that show is now probably... was in their 30s and 40s then, which that was 20 years ago. You're looking at a group that is in their late 50s to 60s right now. That's his fan base.
My roommate is a big Bill Maher fan. Like he watches him religiously.
That's a surprise that anyone under the age of 30 actually, or under 40.
And
actually gives a
I've
shit.
sat down a couple times with him, and I've watched it, and it's I would like sit there and be like, that's kind of funny. Like I don't like laugh out loud. Like
He's
you know who,
so smug and pompous.
you know who is funny? You know who is really funny? And like if I had to do a write-in vote for like I guess you could say reality TV, I'd do the Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Oh, John Oliver's great. Usually that's always
He's
up for reality show, and this year it wasn't.
Fucking genius. Like I love his shit so goddamn much.
But here's the difference. There is going to be a time frame that no matter what, and this is what I think bothers Bill Maher, the fact that Stan Lee was so mourned on Twitter that when this fuck dies, nobody but 4 people who's jerking off in their mom's basement is going to remember him. No one,
Absolutely.
because Stan Lee's work will live on forever. But when like 20 minutes after Bill Maher dies, people are going to be like, who? And I'm sorry, but that is the problem he has right now, is that he is fucking he's jealous of the fact that this guy did drawings and writing for comic books is getting more memorialized than he will ever be in his entire life.
Stan Lee's legacy that he leaves behind is a multi-generational thing. Like people, our children and their children and their children will be forever impacted by the work that Stan Lee has done, by the mark that he left on the world. Like there is never, ever going to be a time when Stan Lee's name isn't uttered by somebody in some capacity. Like he is somebody that he was truly like, and I've said this before in description of other people, but Stan Lee was truly a god amongst men. Like there is no way that anyone in their right mind could dispute the legacy that he's leaving behind, or that he has left behind. On Bill Maher's side,
I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you what Bill Maher
people are
does.
going to remember him for is being a cantankerous asshole.
No, he right now is the equivalent of, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. That's pretty much what
Exactly.
this argument is. And I'm sorry, saying that, enjoying things to excess is bad. That's where a lot of people argued. Hell, I even commented on the damn post. Because part of me goes, what's the difference from enjoying comic books and getting deep down into comic books than going to a than going to a game, painting yourself in that color of a team and being that damn excited? It's the same principle. You put shit away to watch it. You collect shit. I collect things from comic books. I collect things from nerd culture, more so TV and movies. But why the fuck does it matter?
It doesn't. I think you hit it right on the head. I think Bill Maher,
It's a legacy
and
thing.
he'll never admit it. You'll never get him to admit it, but I think he understands on some level the titanic weight of legacy and impact that Stan Lee has left behind in his passing. He will never, ever match. And he even in the back of his mind is feeling like his relevancy in today's world is slipping. So he's making, like I said, edgelord comments to get people to talk about him because nobody's talking about him.
So here's the thing. So I did some research because I figured somebody was going to come after me after I said what I did. Because I went after the fact of what's the difference between being a fanatical sports fan and being someone who enjoys an adult who enjoys comic books, because there's no difference, by the way.
There really isn't.
I went out and did my research to the point where I'm like, what's your ratings for television, Bill Maher, among my age group? And it's a 0.1. It's a point on HBO, where I know John Oliver's numbers are 100,000 times better.
Absolutely.
But I know on HBO, where you're able to be uncensored, you should have better numbers with my age demographic if people gave a shit about what you said. But in this day and age, no one wants to hear people talk about fucking politics 24/7. Because if you want to talk about politics 24/7, just log on to goddamn Facebook.
Right. Or just turn on MSNBC. There's a time and a place for politics, and I certainly get interested in it from time to time. But don't be an asshole at the end of the day. I know that's a very simplistic attitude to have, but this is something that brings a lot of light and joy and wonder into people's lives.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment. and don't like, you are an entertainer at the end of the day. You're not some great political mind. You're not going to be written about in the history books. You're not going to leave any sort of legacy behind. So just quit attacking the people that are just quit attacking people, period. Like, don't even put a qualifier on that. Just be biting, be acerbic, be an asshole. Like, there are plenty of comedians and comedians that are building careers out of being like sarcastic assholes. But don't attack something that is widely loved and accepted just to get a few clicks or to try and edge out some Twitter relevancy.
Because that's all it is. It's social media.
All it is. Exactly.
All right, now that I got that out of my system, let's talk some nerd news.
Yes,
I had to be pissy about that. Okay, so let's talk. A new Batman movie is going to be happening very soon, but we also know that it is not going to have Batfleck.
This saddens me. I feel like I was certainly the earliest, but one of the only proponents of Batfleck. I mean, say what you will about the DC canon of extended universe films. I know there's more detractors than fans. I happen to love those movies, but
I do not enjoy them as much as I want to.
But his Batman was the best on-screen live-action Batman, period. The only other one that comes close is Michael Keaton, but that's another debate for another time. So it
or
upset
Adam
me.
West, you Jack Stain. How can you talk about Batman and not talk about Adam West? I'm sorry. Like, I get it was
Adam
campy.
West was a great Batman, but he was
a great Bruce Wayne.
The character.
Oh, come on, that is the version of the character.
Not my version of the character.
I get Batman's all dark and shit, but not at that time frame. Adam West
for that time in that place, Adam West was the best. But the Batman that
Still
is widely known and familiar by most people
is not Val Kilmer's. It's Michael Keaton.
Go fuck yourself.
I like Val
Cancel
Kilmer.
this podcast.
I like Val Kilmer's Batman. Thank you. I don't like George Clooney's. I like George Clooney's Bruce
was
Wayne.
A better Bruce Wayne, exactly.
Hey, anytime you put nipples on the bat suit, I'm out.
Or the Bat credit card.
The bat card. Never leave anywhere without it. Okay.
So I'm upset. Like, I like him, but I am mildly excited to see who they go with.
Okay,
but
so that's a question. Before we go, who do you think plays Batman at this point? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
I like the older version of Batman. I like the weathered kind of. He's been on the scene for a while and seen some shit.
I still want Jensen
Ackles. Direction
Ackles.
they're going in.
I still want Jensen Ackles as Batman, and I know that's not going to happen because he'd have to be older. Because Jensen Ackles is 40, but I think to be hissy.
If we're gonna do an older Batman, I go John Hamm.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I think he's almost too comedic to some aspects.
But if you know what, he's been very comedic. But if you go back and watch his dramatic work on Mad Men,
I love Mad Men too.
Perfect Bruce Wayne, and I really think he'd kill it as Batman. I really, really, really do. But they're gonna go younger. The other news that got buried a little bit under the announcement of Ben Affleck leaving the role is that they're doing a smaller Batman movie. Now, there's some bits in this story that I want to parse out with.
Well,
you.
They're doing a new Batman movie. I don't think if it's smaller, but they're doing one.
Well, what I say smaller is I don't mean like The Dark Knight Rises, where the city's coming to an end. It's post-apocalyptic, and
no, this is going to be like Val. This is going to be like Batman Forever. This is Val Kilmer's Batman. Like,
I am, and if there are any fans listening to this right now, follow with me right now. I think they're going to do a movie version of The Long Halloween. Now, the reason why I say this is in the news that got released, of which there was quite a bit DC news yesterday. They announced that Ben Affleck was leaving the role, which
I can tell you who the first villain is in this Batman movie. That's out. That's been out for about 3 months.
Penguin?
Yeah.
But Matt Reeves made a comment last night, the guy who's directing the Batman movie, that it's going to feature the entire, not the entire, but it's going to feature a lot of the Rogues Gallery. So it's not going to just be
I swear to God, if Riddler is not in this series, I will find this fucknut and I will kick him right in the scrotum.
In the dick.
Right in the scrotum.
But he did say that it's going to feature the entire, most of the Rogues Gallery, and that it was going to be something that no Batman movie has really featured up until this point, and that's going to focus on his detective skills. Because one of Batman's monikers as everybody who is familiar with nerd culture knows, is the world's greatest detective. And we've never had a Batman movie really focus on that aspect of the character. Like, we've always had, like, the ass-kicking karate guy and, like, all the gadgets and shit, but we've never had a Batman that's really focused on those keen detecting skills that he's very known for. So I really think that, coupled with all the rogues, plus the fact that they're going with a slightly younger Batman this time, which in that version of the story, if you've ever read that comic, I highly suggest you do. It is one of the best Batman stories ever.
You're going to hear me yell in a second. Shay, shut up! Our dog is going crazy because there's beeping. Like, there's a trash man outside or something. Like, yeah.
So I think that's what he's going to do. Like, I could be proven wrong, and I might, but that would be awesome. A long Halloween story.
Okay, so here's my thing. If they're going to go younger, I don't know who they get to play Batman, because at this point, I really don't know of any actors that are out there that makes me go, hey, that guy could be a great Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Young actors, like, you got me. You really do. Like, I'm not really familiar. Like, I don't.
If Neil Patrick Harris isn't your Riddler, fuck off. That's another argument I want to say.
I can't even, like, I'm not really up on, like, young Hollywood.
Well, that's the thing, because, like, at this point, who's out there? Because everybody's already in a superhero movie. Shit. Like, I mean,
yeah, the MCU pretty much has the monopoly on it.
It's going to be Zac Efron, isn't it? It's going to be the new Ted Bundy.
No, God, no. God.
Which I do want to see that movie, by the way.
Who the fuck? Like, that's a good, like, I'll have to sit on that one, because I don't really know a lot of young Hollywood. So
okay, I'm going to search this on Google. Who could play Oh, God. Okay, so who could play Batman? Oh, the 10 actors who could replace... Fuck comicbook.com, by the way. That's another thing I've got on my head. Because you want to talk about... I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity.
Yes, agreed.
And comicbook.com is all about the quantity. Like, Jesus.
Okay, so let's see.
Army Hammer is on their list.
I got some younger actors pulled up here. So we got Taylor Lautner. No.
Yes. Yes.
Josh Hutcherson.
There's nobody I know from these.
Liam Hemsworth. Ansel Elgort.
Oh my God, Jamie Dornan is on their list.
Ugh.
You know what? He's not a bad actor. Let's just take out the 50 Shades of Gay. 50 Shades of Gay.
The 50 Shades of Gay.
50 Shades of Gay. Okay, so that's a whole new 50 Shades
Miles
of Gray.
Teller?
No. He's already touched too many comic book franchises and fucked them up.
Daniel Radcliffe. Done.
I'm Harry Batman. No. I'm Batman Potter. No, I can't do it. I just can't do that. I'm Batman Potter. Oh my God.
Bruce Potter.
Oh jeez. Bruce Potter sounds like
I got a controversial pick for you. I got a controversial pick. Robert Pattinson.
No.
I don't really fully believe that. I just wanted to see how you react to that.
I'm trying to think of movies that I've enjoyed recently where I'm like, hey, you know what? Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing everything lately. Let's make Batman a musical. Fuck it. How can I hate for that one? I do like Lin-Manuel Miranda, by the way. Shit, man. I can't. Yeah. If this was 10 years ago, sure, I could pull someone out of my ass, but it's not 10 years ago.
What about Kit Harington? Jon Snow.
All right. That one might be...
He's gonna need something because Game of Thrones is ending this year.
Yeah, that's another show I gotta give a second chance to.
I
guess a knife chance at this point, but...
What about Nicholas Hoult?
This is tough.
I mean, it is. There's not really like a lot of super...
I would like to see someone play the role that has not really done a role like that. It's kind of weird. Like, I want to see him come in and do something kind of just off. Like, I want him to go really outside the box as much as they possibly could, but I know they won't.
No, they will not.
I volunteer myself. I'll be Fat Man. I'll be the first fat Batman.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Like, that's tough because right now the DC, because I know this is not going to be part of the Like, I know DC has gone away from the Justice League. Like, I've read that numerous times now.
Mhm.
And I think Wonder Woman has Wonder Woman and Aquaman have proved that the lesser characters are a little bit better.
In terms, cinematically speaking, for sure. But
Oh yeah. So I don't know. I mean, oh god, is there anyone that could Army Hammer? I've read.
I
I mean, there's not.
would see Army Hammer as Green Lantern.
I think they dropped the ball and waited too long to get crap, Bradley Cooper.
Oh no.
What about John Krasinski?
Who?
What about John Krasinski? Jim
No,
from The
John
Office.
Krasinski's going to be the one that takes over Captain America when Chris Evans steps down.
That's probably true. My God, that's probably true.
If he doesn't, I want him to.
Is there any? My God, this is now a question that we're going to think about for the next. Yeah, well, let's move on because this is going to drive me nuts.
This is going to take forever. Yeah, let's go. What's next? What are we talking about now?
Let's talk about the new Ghostbusters movie.
Or talk about Leslie Jones' reaction to it.
You know what? I don't hate Leslie Jones's reaction to it because I don't think the female Ghostbusters got the love it should have. Because again, this goes back to the Rotten Tomatoes argument where that movie was hijacked.
I agree 110%. I don't think she's certainly not wrong in feeling the way that she does, but the way she presented her feelings, I don't agree with. I don't think, like, one of her arguments was, like they're going back to the all boys Ghostbusters because the all girl one didn't do well. Fuck us, right? And blah, blah, blah. Like,
no, that's the reason they're going back to it.
All boys Ghostbusters is the reason you even made a movie to begin with.
Okay, so there's that argument. There is that argument. I do think they're going back because this movie tanked.
Oh, they are 100% going back to the original Ghostbusters because the lady one tanked. And you know what? I just watched it recently, like a week or two ago.
It's so good. And a lot of people are like, I hate it. It's so dumb.
Watch the extended version because the extended version is even funnier.
Like, I mean, there's so many. Okay, so the we were the only two people in the theater. Like, it was almost at the end of its run at that point. And I was so happy that I went to see that movie in theater because it was so much better than I thought it would be. In fact, I laughed at that more than I thought I would. Because the original two Ghostbusters, I don't laugh that much at. Not saying they're not.
The first
funny.
one is like a comedy all-time classic. I laugh.
I do think the new one is funnier than the second one, but there are moments in it where I'm like, I think Holtz could be part of the lore 100%.
She's the best part of the movie.
Oh,
hands down.
Oh yeah. Kate McKinnon is amazing. I love Kate McKinnon and almost everything she does. And then add her to that, and I'm just like, she deserves that spot. Like, if anybody from that cast deserves to be in the new movie, it's her. And I don't think
it's her.
They're not
hands
going
down.
to.
But it's a legacy. Like I said, I certainly don't think.
I get where she's coming from.
I do. I really do. Because you put your heart and soul into something for it to just get shit on for no reason. That fucking sucks. It really, really, really does. But she needs to remember that project wouldn't exist without the original Ghostbusters. The original Ghostbusters.
You mean the 1975 cartoon?
Not the Funimation. What? Oof, God, with that ape. No, thank you.
Suck it.
The real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters.
Like, it's just, I appreciated what they did, and that movie was good. It really was. But for me personally, it's the lesser of the three Ghostbuster movies. I still like 1 and 2 better than I like this new one. But that's neither here nor there. I think I'm excited about the new one. The teaser was awesome and had the old school soundtrack from the movie.
I'm excited and nervous. I'm excited and nervous because I think I'm going to say this. Those guys are not young. And I'm not trying to say this to be a dick. I don't know if they can carry a movie now.
I don't think they're going to carry the movie. I think they're going to be in the movie, and I think they're going to feature prominently within it, but I think it's going to be about a younger class of Ghostbusters. I really, really, really do.
Oh, we'd all shit our pants if they transferred over to the girls, wouldn't you? Like, and all of this is just like to hype up the new movie, and then all of a sudden it's like, here are proton packs, ladies, and then it's just the cast from the all-female Ghostbusters.
I would be cool with that. That'd be a nice little bit of synergy.
That would
But
be
you know
a
what's got me
middle
most
finger to
excited?
everyone who hated that movie too.
You know what's got me most excited about this new one? Is that Ivan Reitman, the director of the original two, his son is directing this one.
Do you
And I
think if
love
Ivan Reitman would have
Jason
done the
Reitman.
all-female one, it would have been better?
I think
'Cause
my
I like Paul
problem
Feig.
with the all-female one has anything to do with the all-female cast, because they were all, even though I don't like Melissa McCarthy all that much, they were all very good in that movie. Like, that is my favorite Melissa McCarthy movie, hands down. I think it's two different comedy styles. The new Ghostbusters movie is got this kind of improv kind of comedy style, this really like loose, free-forming current generation comedy style, and the old one has a very kind of, National Lampoon, very scripted set piece comedy. So it's two different styles of comedy. So I think that's why the third one lands a little bit lower on the list for me, because I don't like, while some of those like loose comedy movies, those improv, like kind of Judd Apatow style comedies are awesome, I don't think that kind of comedy fits in the Ghostbusters universe. I just like the way that the old school Ghostbusters movies, it feels like a piece of like the Blues Brothers and Animal House and like all those 80s screwball comedies.
But will this
Like,
feel like that because of, and again, I guess we got a elephant in the room. Will this movie feel like that? Because I don't think it will.
I think it'll be a combination of the two. I mean, it can't be a total, like, they can't ignore the type of comedy that's prevalent in the world today, like what's popular.
By the way, comedy movies now, and I don't say this because there's a lot of really funny movies out there.
They suck.
They don't get their job. Well, I don't think they get any praise at all because people are so like, it's a comedy. No one cares anymore.
Comedies get a bad rap. Some of them, like, if we're talking like dramedies, maybe not so much. I think they get a better rap, but like,
because they have
like,
some drama in it. Yeah, but comedies now, like, take for instance Holmes and Watson, which I haven't seen, and I'm not trying to say it's good, but to say it's one of the worst movies ever made, is it because it's just a comedy? Would a comedy that came out, like, take the script from Talladega Nights, which is my favorite Will Ferrell movie, would that do as well now? No.
Just for point of reference, I think, not even a point of reference, but just something to say something. I think my favorite Will Ferrell movie has to be The Other Guys.
That's a good one too. I do enjoy that one.
Just because Will Ferrell is great as the straight man for once, and Mark Wahlberg plays like the loose cannon weirdo. Such a nice reversal of the type of characters that each actor plays, and it's just a fucking funny movie. But I digress. I don't think it's. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit of both comedy styles, because like, you don't go back to the old school team without featuring that old school comedy, right? Like, if you bring back Aykroyd and Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson, if you bring them back, you got to bring back what made them funny. Like, imagine Dr. Ray Stantz spouting jokes written by Judd Apatow. Like, just something seems off about that. Like, but at the same time, if you're gonna like make the story where they maybe mentor these new Ghostbusters, maybe that's where they kind of hyper stylized, or not hyper stylized, but they kind of feature those two hybridized comedy styles together. Because then you get like the old guys kind of mixing with the new people. Like, I think it'll be a combination of the two. I think it'll be a little bit more old school, because I think the studios are going to be a lot more trepidatious about the movie they're putting out.
But I also
considering...
I also, this is just me, I also don't want, oh God, I'm going to sound terrible, and I'm probably going to get hate mail for this. I also don't want to see the old cast, and I know that sounds terrible, but again, Bill Murray's like, what, 90?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he's not, but Bill Murray
he's old as fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's in even shape to act. Dan Aykroyd is, from what I've read, the biggest asshole in the world.
Really? He seems like a nice guy.
No, I've always heard bad things about Aykroyd. And I mean, Ernie Hudson seems that I met Ernie Hudson at a convention. The dude was just wandering around, and we just talked.
Oh, dude, he's so awesome. Like, was it last year or 2 years ago when we went to Wizard World? We were my wife was in line to meet Catherine Tate, and
my favorite Doctor Who companion.
Ernie Hudson's just strolling around like without any
Yeah.
bodyguards or anything. He's just walking around, and I went and like shook his hand, and he just seemed like a nice dude.
You want to know
like,
what Ernie
he's just
Hudson
excited to be there.
Number one, Ernie Hudson and I discussed the new Ghostbusters movie, and he said he was excited for it. So it was probably because he had a cameo. The second thing was I told him how much I loved him in a movie, and he goes, "Yeah, it's either that one or Ghostbusters that I always get told." And I love him in The Crow. So
I forget he's in The Crow. You know what my favorite Ernie Hudson movie is? No, this is one of my outside of Ghostbusters, and it's one that not many people remember. Do you remember a little movie series called The Substitute?
Yes.
With where he plays the substitute teacher, and he's like the Army Ranger, and he's like the prince. Ernie Hudson as the drug peddling principal is phenomenal in that movie.
Yeah, he was kind of like, I always do this when I meet celebrities. I will always tell them I enjoyed them in something, but I always try to find something that no one would remember. Like that one was that one, like Jewel State. So, and she probably gets this a lot, but it was just like, people are coming up to her now going, "I love you" as Kaylee in Firefly, and I'm next in line, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. I know what I'm going to say, but I think she's going to give me a weird look. And I look right at her and go, "I loved you as Becca in Flash Forward," and everybody just kind of was like, yeah.
I want to go to C2E2 this year and meet Paul Rudd. And I want to go right up to him and say, "Dude, I loved you in Halloween Part 6.
I loved you. I also like Paul Rudd in Clueless. I'll just go ahead and say it.
Yeah, but like he's gonna get a lot of love for Ant-Man. He's gonna get a lot of love for Anchorman. Like he's gonna get a lot of love for those big movies. And that's awesome.
My favorite line Paul Rudd has ever delivered was "Forgetting Sarah Marshall." When he is
which one? Oh, the doofy surfer
guy,
right?
When he's polishing the surfboard, and he looks right, and I don't know if he's looking at Sarah Marshall or the other person that's in the movie, but he looks right at like dead faced and goes, "Oh, the weather outside is weather," and I'm like, yes, that is my favorite line ever. That is my favorite Paul Rudd line ever delivered.
Done. But I just, to go back to Ghostbusters, I really I think I'm excited. I think the stars are aligning. I think it'll be a perfect mix of the old and the new. I think we're in for a good time. I'm hopeful. Like I was.
That's all you can be, is hopeful.
The female one, and it turned out to be good. Like not as, again, personally for me, not as good as the other two, but I enjoyed.
But you still enjoyed it, and you're not going to downplay it like other people do. Like that's the worst movie ever. Like bullshit. I have seen the worst movie ever. It is Manos: The Hands of Fate. Don't tell me that is the worst movie ever, you cockstains. By the way, I watched a movie on Netflix. I'm starting to wake up now. By the way, I watched a movie on Netflix about cat shows. They're like dog shows, but with cats. And that is a Cinecrat movie waiting to happen because, my God, these people have like 50 cats.
If they ever make a sequel to Best in Show.
Oh, and this is a documentary too. This is not a mockumentary. Best in Show is great.
Yes.
So Cinecrap's coming back too. I just want to let everyone know. And I think I'm going to try to get one out Saturday. We're probably going to do Little Giants.
Oh, I used to love that movie.
I love that movie too, but I was like, I cannot help but make that comparison where it's like, it's Gozer versus Al Bundy. Like, that's all I want to do.
Yes.
That's all I want.
Oh,
KFC,
God.
Another news story from KFC, because every time you're on the show, apparently I get KFC news. Have you seen the new sandwich that KFC is getting ready to release?
Is this the Cheeto one?
Yes.
The Cheeto sandwich or whatever?
The chicken sandwich with Cheetos.
Oh, God. It looks so gluttonous and disgusting, but I know I'm going to eat it at some point.
Can't. I'm not the biggest... Oh, God. I hate Cheetos to a point. Like, I'll get in a mood where I'm like, I want some Cheetos, but it's very rare.
Oh, we forgot not to go back, but we forgot like some really big DC news.
Yeah, let's go back. Well, that's all I wanted to do was talk about that sandwich for a minute. Okay, go ahead.
So something that I don't even think you were made aware of until
I know
we talked right
I
before
know the
show.
Birds of Prey teaser came out, which I'll be honest with you, did absolutely nothing for me because it's
It
just
looks
like I'm back.
whatever.
But I do
The
love
big
Margot
news-
Robbie's Harley.
Like we've talked previously that James Gunn is writing the script for the new Suicide Squad movie, right?
Yes.
Well, last night it was confirmed he's actually directing it as well, and even bigger, he's complete. It's not a sequel; it's a complete relaunch. He's recasting the entire movie, all new characters, all new actors, and they're completely starting over from scratch.
Oh fuck. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, so Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and Will Smith's Deadshot is the only two redeeming qualities of Suicide Squad. You can listen to our episode of Center Crap. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna recast Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
I think so.
That's dumb. I'm gonna say it now. That's a bad move.
Unless they don't feature Harley Quinn, because there are plenty of characters over the course of the years that have featured on the Suicide Squad, not just those core characters.
No, I agree. I just I don't like this idea.
You know what? In James Gunn, we trust.
I
That's
like
all I
James
gotta say.
Gunn, but I don't know if I like the idea of just rehashing it already. Like it's only
But it's not necessarily a rehash per se.
well, if he's erasing the whole slate, it's a rehash. Like we're already at this movie came out what 2 years ago.
Yeah, I guess.
Like we're already at 3. It's almost 3. This movie came out almost 3 years ago, and we're already going, hey, let's make it a complete new one.
I don't know. I loved both of those Guardians movies, and I think it's
I do too.
really, really ingenious move that he's now pinch hitting for the other team. So
That sounded
I'm
wrong.
down. Like I'm down to see. I don't like Jared Leto. I don't really like much about that movie.
Oh no, you can
Like,
get
again,
rid of
go
everyone
to
else,
the
but you have to
podcast.
keep Margot Robbie. I'm sorry, that's
Right.
the one thing you have to, because she is she is good at Harley Quinn.
And if you don't, then just don't feature the character in your movie.
That's true, because Birds of Prey is going to come out. I'm not excited for that movie, but as of right, I mean, I love the idea, I love the concept, but
The concept seems more like a limited run series on CW or HBO than a
do you
full
realize
fledged
it used
movie.
to be right? There is a show Birds of Prey that looks very. I don't remember what.
There
network
was
it
a show way.
It was
back
in the late '90s, early 2000s, and
Yes.
it was very cheap, very
It was
cheap. But
awful.
the writing was good. No, I will say that the writing was good, but it looked cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a show known for its production values.
All right, so Sunday is this big game. I guess I can't. This game that two teams are going to run on the field and play.
I've never been a big fan of soccer, but what are you going to do?
All right, so water polo Sunday. Oh my God, I've read. This is the first year that I've, honest to God, and this is what I'm going to talk about on the daily or on the Buzz tomorrow. Because this goes up on Thursday night. This actually goes up a few hours after recording it, which is very weird for me to do. But
Right on.
this Super Bowl seems to be the most unanticipated Super Bowl ever.
Well, look at the two teams playing, one of which I wasn't even aware was playing until earlier today.
The Rams. And I mean, it was, I watched the Chiefs play the Patriots, and yeah, there was some shitty calls in that game. The Saints should have been in the Super Bowl. There was a shitty call in that game. So much so that the city of New Orleans sued the NFL to replay the game. And the NFL said, well, our officials are only human. And I went, yeah, all right. That's a shitty statement to make in this situation.
Oh, God.
But to take that away, there is one thing that makes me super excited, and it's not Maroon 5 at halftime. Fuck that.
I still think they should have gotten Weezer to play Africa at halftime.
You know what? There are so many better artists that could have played the Super Bowl halftime show
Is
other
Maroon
than
5
Maroon
even
5.
relevant anymore?
That's what I said too. I'm like, the dude's on The Voice. I guess that's cool.
Like, when was the last time they put out a hit record?
They've had some new songs, and they've gone number one within the last. Well, they went number one last year. I can't say much. They're in the music list, but
Okay.
I mean, like, they're not the type. I don't think they've put a band in the Super Bowl halftime show that I went, you know what? I'm fucking stoked for that halftime show. I think the last one I got pumped up for was Bruno Mars, which is
I don't
a
even
good,
remember the last time I got hyped for
great halftime show, by the way.
You know who they should fucking. I mean, and maybe they have, and I'm just unaware of it.
The Black Eyed Peas?
I'd like
No,
to
they
see-
did that already.
Did they ever do AC/DC?
Maybe. If they did, it was back in the day. But I don't want to see old geriatrics playing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that is good, like pump up, like music.
They did the
like,
Rolling
That is good music to
Stones.
get you in the mood. You know what
They
I'm
did
saying?
the Who. Like,
Oh, fuck the Who. You want to talk about old geriatric fucks?
by the way, you want to talk about what I looked at? I don't remember who I was with at the time when I was watching that Super Bowl halftime show, but I was like, I didn't realize I was going to have to hear 15 minutes of every CSI theme. Like, that's what I wanted my Super Bowl halftime show, but fucking hell.
Let's be honest, my friend. The only Super Bowl halftime show ever worth talking
Carol
about.
Channing, Super Bowl 2. That's not a joke.
No, I was going with the Super Bowl brawl between Mankind and The Rock.
They're
in the
doing that
Stadium.
again this year. They are doing a new half. Okay, I can't believe we're talking about this.
Oh, man.
All the shows intertwined now. Our sports show, our wrestling show, and this show has now just intertwined. The only thing that would make this better if we were drinking a glass of wine.
Well, I am drinking Bailey's in my coffee. If that counts.
that works. So they're doing halftime heat again because the Super Bowl halftime show nobody wants to see.
Nobody wants to watch the Super Bowl, period.
Yeah, they've already, okay, here's the other thing. So I know that this is the most unanticipated Super Bowl ever. I remember growing up and the Super Bowl being this amazing event where you get to see the commercials, which I don't think they've been good in the last 5 years.
You know what? I'm with you. Like, I remember being young and we would go to the grocery store and I'd get so much, I'd get like a bunch of chips and some soda.
Tostino's pizza
and I'd just be-
rolls.
Like, I would just be so down to watch the Super Bowl, and I wasn't even a football fan. But, like, I remember back
It's
in
an
my heyday,
event.
Super Bowls, like, the last Super Bowl I remember enjoying was the last Super Bowl where the Denver Broncos fought the Green Bay Packers, and it was John Elway versus Brett Favre.
Super Bowl
Like,
32. I can even
Two
tell.
titans of football.
That was 20 years ago, by the way.
That was
20
one of-
fucking years ago.
I know, right? Like, that just tells you how old I am. But
That's a great game,
That
though.
was a Super Bowl.
Well, last year went to overtime. I don't have an issue with that. Like, or 2 years ago went to overtime. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but it just seems we went from all this like excitement about this game and everything to it being the biggest clusterfuck in the span of like 10 years. Because all the commercials now are online. Like, all the commercials that are playing
Instantly.
Sunday are already online.
Like last year, I think a bunch of the trailers and commercials were on the internet the day before the Super Bowl.
I don't
it's
think the
just like
trailers
they
are
were
up
daring
yet.
you to not watch the game.
The trailers are not up yet, but the commercials that, you know, like Budweiser has and the companies that you just expect for Super Bowl ads are already up. And I'm like, why? Why the fuck do I care now if I can just go watch all of them and then just plan to be like, okay, here's the movie trailer?
Because it's the movie trailers now. Like, that's the game. It's not the commercials anymore. It's the trailers. Like I said,
Doctor Who made me
earlier-
sit through goddamn tennis. I'm still
Tennis!
pissed at that.
Like, come on, man. Like I said earlier, these people at the NFL and these sports organizations know how to get nerds to watch their programming because they'll get them to sit through and watch the programming. And it's not like they're going to put the trailer up front and you can just tune out right away. They're going to make you sit through more than half of the game. Then you're going to watch the trailer. So they've already got your viewership. That's how they get you, man. Like, I guarantee you, I'll call it right now, 70% of the people who watch the Super Bowl this year will watch it just to see the new Star Wars trailer.
I am one of those people. Unless it doesn't air, which I've read that rumor.
If it doesn't air, man, I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl. I will just wait till the next day. But like, that's the only reason anyone watches sports anymore is because they know they're going to drop the trailers for like Star Wars and Avengers. And, you know, I hear we might get a Wonder Woman 84 trailer.
There's some good stuff coming from this Super Bowl, but I don't know.
It's just, you're absolutely right when you said that it used to be this huge, like, extravaganza that everyone, non-sports fans alike, could get into and watch. And now it's just There's nothing special about it.
Yeah,
There's not. It's just like another football game, and it's just another game.
like I think
that Tom-
going to it now would be really the moment. Like I think now it's actually going to the events and going to like because next I think if we keep covering sports in the next like year or two, I'm going to apply for press for the Super Bowl weekend because I think that'd be fun as fuck. But like that has to be the thing now because it's like you can't afford to go to the Super Bowl. Like there's
nobody in their right minds. Like I guarantee you, when you watch the game and you see all those people in those audiences,
they're corporate seats. Like they're all corporate.
It's all
people.
corporate.
Yeah.
It's like there's not a single normal person.
Well, there is, but it's like they
that
spent.
didn't suck a dick to get into that
Oh
stadium.
no shit! There's okay. So fun story. Somebody bought 50 yard line seats and spent what was it? Almost $300,000 for 4
for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
And I went, fuck me. Do you know what I would do for 1 Super Bowl ticket? Like shit.
Take a shot in the mouth.
Yeah, pretty much. Like but yeah, no, I went. I can't believe this. Like the Super Bowl itself is no longer fun.
It's like it's not even fun, and it's the halftime show this year is boring. Like you know that New England is going to win, so why even fucking watch the game?
Oh my god, I hate the Patriots. Like this has nothing to do with like bias towards teams, but like fuck, I get tired. You know what's funny? I'm gonna bring this up. I'll do it now. As a sports fan, we grew up in the era with the Bulls, and they were so
God.
fucking good. And I know people hated them because they were winners, but they seem like they had less hate than the New England Patriots do now.
Yeah,
And the
New
Bulls were
England
there
Patriots-
every fucking year too.
because that's boring. Because you know that they're going to win.
But people like
Not-
Michael
and not
Jordan.
even that- It just
Like Michael Jordan wasn't a swarmy asshole as much as Tom Brady looks.
No, I'm sorry, but there's just even the trailers. Like I want to see the trailers. Don't get me wrong, but knowing that they're
They'll
going
be
to
on
pop up on the
YouTube in like
internet,
10 minutes later.
yeah, like it's not even like there are much like I will probably that's this Sunday, right?
Yeah, that is this Sunday.
I'll probably be playing Resident Evil 2 again for
There
the
it is.
20 millionth time.
There it is. I figure I'll watch, maybe, and that's a key. That is something I'm saying. Maybe I'll watch. I don't know yet.
Nobody in our house is super sports fans. My roommate like watches some college football, but
I'd rather watch
mean,
college.
I'm not a sports fan in general outside of baseball. So, and I'm not even I just like that sport. I'm not even like a hardcore fan. Like I couldn't tell you like player stats and shit.
Let me guess, you're a
but-
Cubs fan though.
What's that?
You're a Cubs fan, aren't you?
Fuck no, I'm not. I'm a White Sox fan.
That's even worse. All right, so let's move on to as a Kansas City Royals fan. Fuck off. All right, so here we go. Well, that was a nice time. Do I need to apologize for being mean now?
No, I don't think so. Again, this is your podcast. This is your show. You can do whatever the hell you want.
This is true. I don't want to say fuck the White Sox though, because then I'll get like hate mail out the ass. All right, it's time. Let's do it. It's time for we're gonna talk some video games in a minute because it is time. Well, that's not the right folder. I was gonna play the nerd debate. There we go. Oh my god, I had last year's Nutsy Awards open. I don't know what the fuck I would do with that.
Ooh.
All right, it's time for our this week's nerd debate. Good God. Oh, now it's not going to play. Of course, modern technology is just kicking me in the dick today. Like, holy crap!
Yeah, it is not our friend today, especially not here in the.
It's
fucking
so
Southern
cold.
You're
Europe.
traveling
There it
to
is.
another dimension.
Jesus.
A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
am your father.
The Bears. The Bears.
Treat yourself 2011.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, what is going on here?
All right, there we go.
That is my favorite intro you have for anything that you do with TBK.
That is one.
Period.
You want to know how long that took to put together?
How long?
4 minutes. All right, that's not a joke. The former co-host and I put it together in 4 minutes after a trip that was like 6 hours away.
That is just. Yeah!
By the way, that's a great show. That's a show about sports that is fucking fantastic. If you've not seen the league, you need
I
to.
love it.
Okay, so let's talk some video games. So I grew up, and then I want to talk about some video games before we get into actually the topics. I grew up where we could only afford one system.
Yeah, I mean us too.
My
'cause
mom,
consoles.
yeah, they were expensive. My mom
I
decided,
mean, they still are, but
yeah, well, we're adults. We can afford them now. I asked my mom for a Super Nintendo because I felt like that's the one I wanted.
okay,
She ended up getting me a Sega.
okay.
Fuck. I don't know how you get
Fuck
those.
you, kid. You'll get what I.
I
paid
don't
for.
know how those are confusing, but I did have Mortal Kombat and it actually had real blood, so fuck Super Nintendo. But I realized something at that time where I was like, I'm not an avid gamer. I'm really not, but I'm starting to, as an adult, go back and find those games now that I never got a chance to play.
Mhm.
Oh my god, man. I just played through the original Legend of Zelda for the first time. Start to finish.
Okay.
It took me 5 days because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
And did you enjoy it?
Oh
Did you
god, I
not
think that
enjoy
is I think the first Legend of Zelda might be the best game I've ever played.
That's a tall order, my
Now,
friend. Now,
yeah. No, I do
Like,
think there are better
I'm
games. but-
I'm the opposite of you. I've been a very, very avid gamer for almost my entire life. My very first gaming console ever was an Atari 2600. I remember when I was like 9 or 10 for Christmas that year, or something. I might be remembering the times wrong, but I got a Nintendo, like the original NES.
and
for Christmas,
The only
the
game he
year it
had
came
for
out.
the Atari was E.T., and that's when he knew he was the bastard child.
And I think the game that I played the most on the Atari was the Atari version of Empire Strikes Back. And I never fucking beat it. I never even came close, but it was just fun to play. But I've had every console. I've had an Atari. I've had the Nintendo. I've had the Super Nintendo. I had the Sega Genesis. I've had the PlayStation. Like, I've had every console between the Atari 2600 and the Xbox One S or X. I don't know which one I have. So, I mean, I've had them all. I've played all the games. Like, I'm a very, very hardcore avid gamer. So I've had all the major franchises, your Zeldas, your Tomb Raiders. I just posted the article, or you just posted the article I did the other day for Resident Evil. Like, I've been around the block and played some games. So I'm very excited with this talk we're about to have.
So, my favorite game growing up was Sonic the Hedgehog, and actually my favorite one was Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic and Knuckles was a good one. The franchise that I think the two that I stuck to the most when I was young, Resident Evil, obviously, but the other one, I really, really dug Earthworm Jim.
That game, that game was on Sega. I enjoyed that game. So was Toe Jam and Earl, and I enjoyed that.
Oh, Toe Jam and Earl. God. I like gaming now. Like, we're getting some real big masterpieces, but you just like the old school pixelated versions of like the 16-bit era and the 8-bit era.
Yeah.
You can't match some of those games. They're just quality timeless products.
So I bring up I bring this up for a reason. Let's start with, first of all, so something hit me, and
Okay.
I don't know if this is real or not, but is Mario actually the bad guy?
The bad guy?
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
So what, Peach never really puts up a struggle with Bowser. Yeah?
I kind of don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
who wants to be abducted by a giant cartoonish looking lizard?
But why does she keep getting abducted? Like, it's not like, after a while, wouldn't you hire like some soldiers or some guards to protect your ass? Like,
Are you about to subscribe some Munchausen by proxy shit to Super Mario?
No. Here's the thing. What if Mario is actually the one kidnapping the princess? So what if Bowser is the one who rescues her and Mario goes through all of this shit to re-kidnap her? Just to kidnap her.
So you're saying that Mario is hiring Bowser
No.
kidnap-
Bowser is the one who's saving her from Mario.
Where are you getting this from?
Okay, so
I'm
in
very
the,
curious.
in the very first manual, like in the booklet for the very first Super Mario Brothers game,
Okay.
it actually says that the people of the Mushroom Kingdom have been enslaved, and every brick and shroom that you jump on are those people. What does Mario break constantly?
The bricks.
They are the souls of people from the Mushroom Kingdom.
That's dark.
Yeah, no, that's an actual... I'll find it here and I'll read the whole thing. But that makes me think that Mario's not a good person.
Huh. So then...
Yeah, now you're thinking, right?
Yeah, because... So then why does... So Bowser rescues the princess from Mario. And, like, what is Mario doing to the princess that it warrants rescuing?
Say that again, sorry. I was looking this up and I got lost.
No, you're fine. So the theory you're positing
Yes.
is that Bowser is rescuing Princess Peach from Mario.
Yeah.
What is Mario doing to Princess Peach that warrants rescuing?
Kidnapping her out of different castles. So here's the object of the very first game.
Okay.
One day, the kingdom of the peaceful mushroom people was invaded by the Koopa, a tribe of turtles famous for their black magic. The quiet, peace-loving mushroom people were turned into mere stones, bricks, and even field horsehair plants. And the mushroom kingdom fell into ruin. The only one who can undo the magic spell on the mushroom people and return them to their normal lives is the Princess Toadstool, the daughter of the Mushroom King.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she is presently in the hands of the Great Koopa Turtle King.
Yes.
Mario, the hero of our story, by the way, in parentheses, maybe, hears about the mushroom people's plight and sets out on a quest to free the Mushroom Princess from the evil Koopa and restore the fallen kingdom to the mushroom people. So every brick, every stone, and every item you kill and you jump on their heads is a member of the Mushroom Kingdom. What?
No, you're like seriously blowing my mind right
This
now.
is actually from the
if
first.
I'm asking some questions.
No, this is
that
from
I'm
the
not-
very first game in the manual. So here's my.
So is Mario aware that these people have their souls trapped in them or whatever?
That's
or
why
these
I think
bricks?
Mario's a shitty person. Because I
So
think
he is aware that
that-
these people are trapped.
Yes. Why do you think we never see Luigi in games? Because I think Luigi knows.
You're like legit blowing my mind right now.
Like
I
I'm
never once thought about that.
This might turn into from nerd debate to a conspiracy theory, but you know what? Fuck it.
It's not going to be much of a debate. I mean, it could be like I'll argue the point that Mario is actually doing good just to have the nerd debate, but
Reading that object of the game kind of changes things, doesn't it?
it really kind of does. Like I've never put much stock into the story, to be perfectly honest with you. But two, I mean, I never knew that backstory growing up. I just played the games. So that kind of really does change things. I mean, like I said, I will argue the debate to have it, just to have a debate.
So what if Mario is technically Gray from 50 Shades of Grey and he just keeps these women tied up?
All right, that's true. I
Well, I'm going to get into this a little bit more in a minute. But yeah, this is really messed up, right?
It is. That's crazy.
Because
like that just
like Peach never struggles to get away from Koopa or Bowser or whatever the fuck he goes by today. It's like Dr. Robotnik, but also goes by Eggman or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if she never struggles to get away, is she
really in need of rescue?
Yeah. So is Mario technically the one who's kidnapping the princess? Because we never get to play as Bowser but one time.
To play devil's advocate, to argue the other side, every villain is the hero of their own story.
Well, you want to know where my other reasoning comes from in this? Let's go
What's
back
that?
to the arcades. Let's go back to the days of Donkey Kong.
Yes.
Great game. Oh my god, great game.
Classic, of course.
Donkey Kong has a female. Mario happens to climb up all of this broken area to rescue a female. But is he really rescuing her?
Well, yeah. I mean, who wants what is this? What's the argument you're going to make here now?
Have you
Like,
played the
why
new
isn't he
Okay, so have you
rescuing her?
played the new Mario game?
I have not.
So Pauline is the mayor of New Donk City, which
Are we
is
talking about Super Mario Odyssey?
yes.
Okay.
So Pauline is the girl in Donkey Kong,
Okay.
but now she's the mayor of New Donk City, which is named after Donkey Kong.
Badonkadonk.
Yeah. And she seems to not hate Donkey Kong at all.
But that almost seems like a retcon.
So I'm just saying, like, if she was kidnapped, wouldn't she not be the mayor of New Donk City? Would she still be living where Donkey Kong could kidnap her?
You're hurting my brain right now. You're,
Yeah.
you really are. Like, I'm not trying to avoid the nerd debate. Like, I love having nerd debates with you, but you're really hurting my brain because you're putting so much story into a game I've never given that much story credit to at all.
Well, there's a reason.
Like-
I mean, there's so much more to this. Like, all of this is going because the other topic in this episode is can garlic powder kill a vampire? But we'll get to that later. But
Oh my god. I miss this show.
but yeah, no. So Mario the bad guy because again, in by the way, in Super Mario Odyssey, if you have not played it, I'm gonna kind of spoil the ending to a point. Peach doesn't choose either one. Like she has a choice to
me too.
Yeah, she has a choice to choose. She does not choose Bowser or Mario. By the way, Bowsette is my favorite fucking thing from 2018. But,
You know, my stepson has Super Mario. We have a Switch. It's not mine. It's his, I think, or it's my roommate's. I don't know whose fucking console it is, but he has Super Mario Odyssey for it,
right.
and I used to watch him play it all the time, and it looks fun. I haven't there isn't really any game on the Switch that I endeavor to play other than Breath of the Wild.
May I make a suggestion?
I've watched him
Go out
play
of
it
your
a few
way.
times, and it just
Super Mario Odyssey is amazing.
It's just, I haven't enjoyed a Mario game since Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube.
I thought you were going to say Super Mario 64 because that was the last time
I
was
like
in
that one a lot. I do. That used to be my favorite, but I really do like Super Mario Sunshine. I don't think it gets enough credit.
No, that's a very underrated game. But this, by the way, Odyssey has like nods to that game.
Does it?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just feel like Mario is the bad guy here. I mean, think about it. He's a plumber. How the fuck is he the good guy in this story? He's got nothing.
Well, I mean, princesses need clean toilets to shit into, don't they?
Well, I mean, I guess, but I mean, he's already got access where Bowser or Koopa wouldn't.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what if he's cleaning the toilets of the castle?
Ah.
I'm just saying. Like, what? I'm throwing this out there.
That's grim.
So to put on to more fact that I think Mario's a piece of shit.
Literally.
So, Mario gets Pauline. Mario gets Princess Peach. Mario gets Daisy. Who the fuck does Luigi get?
Mario?
But I have a point,
maybe
right?
There's just since we're taking like Mario and we're turning it into like a David Fincher movie, why don't we just put some gay subtext in there while we're at it?
Well, like, and I also think that, and Rosalina is also is Super Mario Galaxy. So yeah,
I never played that one actually.
but that means Luigi has no love. Mario hoards all the women for himself.
You're like, I'm not trying to use this as an excuse, but you're really fucking blowing my mind. So it's not like I have a lack of things to say.
You'll love the next part. You'll love the next one.
Oh God, here we go.
Well, the next one is actually kind of a nerd debate. So they're the Mario brothers, right?
Okay,
Does that make Mario's name Mario?
it does. Have you not seen the movie from the 90s?
That is not canon. Fuck
canon
that
to me.
shit. Oh my god, that needs to be a Cinecrat movie. Oh god, that movie's bad.
It does, because like if you take the movie as canon, it's Mario, and Luigi Mario.
So let me bring this back up. So wouldn't that make you sort of wanting to go out there and destroy everything you could? If you were named Mario?
I don't know. I'd be pretty stoked. I mean,
That's the dumbest thing ever.
it is the dumbest thing ever, but it's cool because it's like how do I put this?
Does
It's
that make
better
it-
than being named like
Does that make his middle name Super?
Mario, Super Mario.
Yeah.
No, well,
Luigi Super Mario.
all right, now that sounds dumb. What
Oh,
about
but Mario doesn't sound dumb at all, does it?
What about Wario Mario?
Is Wario a brother, though? Because I don't think he is.
I don't know. I mean, maybe not in name, but aesthetically speaking, he
Does
looks...
that mean it's like Waluigi Mario?
Oh my
Or
God.
Waluigi Mario?
I think we've broken the Matrix.
Oh my god, we're gonna get a lawsuit from Nintendo. What the fuck are you guys trying to do? Put us out of business?
Oh man. I think the name. I mean, Mario. I don't think it sounds dumb at all, to be honest with you.
How is that? Would you name your? Okay, so the next time, I figure you will probably try to have another child.
Maybe.
So are you going to name that, like, if you have a boy, are you going to name that child Douglas?
Yeah. Don't tempt me, because I would be the person that would do that just to prove a point.
Oh god. I feel like this is a good thing your wife is the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Where was
Let's-
Super Mario's mother in the naming process, by the way? Was she high on the shrooms from the Mushroom Kingdom? Like, fuck. Like, this kid I will name Luigi. This kid I'm going to name Mario. What?
Mario.
It's me, a Mario. Which, no shit, that... God damn it, that's terrible. Oh, shit.
Good times. I love, like no joke. There's not many things that catch me by surprise and such, but you have literally knocked me on my ass today. That is, I never knew there was an actual backstory to Mario, and now that you're blowing my fucking mind, man. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, is Mario actually a bad? Because, I mean, if she doesn't resist...
I feel like there is a really good psychological think piece in the waiting out there tackling this.
There's a
subject.
TBK investigates somewhere in this. Like, I think that's the
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. Because, like, I honestly think that she might be getting, like, rescued by Bowser, not being kidnapped by Bowser.
I would love to see you do like an actual 2020, TBK investigates, and then go like super in depth, like do like American Vandal style. Like, obviously it's not a very serious subject.
Like interview a Mario and a Luigi.
You just find somebody named Mario and Luigi and just
oh dude, like all you got to do is have someone and then black out their body and do it like the old school style.
I got a little entertaining story for you. So the listeners might think this is funny too. So I was big Mario back in the day. Obviously, I had the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. I had all the Mario games, and I was in grammar school. I believe it was first or second grade. My mom loves telling this story because she thinks it's embarrassing, but it actually makes me quite proud. I don't remember necessarily doing this, but apparently when I was in school, we were doing a report on family, and I told everyone that my father's name was Luigi. Like, his name is Martin. But I was such a fan of Super Mario Brothers that I told everyone, and it wasn't even Mario; it was Luigi.
Like out of all the characters in the entire world, like I feel like you would have had a better option if you would have been like Toad.
Nope, I went around telling everybody my dad's name was Luigi.
I feel bad for Luigi. Like Luigi never gets his just due. Like, yeah, sure, he's got a haunted mansion, but it's not as cool as Toad's.
Dude,
like,
that game is awesome. Like for real, that
That's a
might
great
be
game.
one of the best Mario games.
Toad. By the way, Toad has a puzzle game out for the Switch, and it's really good. There's like a Toad.
Really?
Yeah, Toad's Treasure Hunt or something. It's really good.
You know what game? Like speaking of going back to your earlier point of playing like old school games, you know what game we've been playing a lot? Dr. Mario.
Oh Jesus! You know I've never played that. I played Sonic Spinball, and I played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which
God,
is virtually
that
this.
sucked.
It's virtually the same thing. Like I hate Tetris. By the way, I'm not a Tetris fan.
Oh, I love Tetris.
But
No, fucking Dr. Mario, man. Like that game is tough.
oh yeah,
Like my wife is not a big gamer, admittedly, but she smokes all of our asses in Dr. Mario. Like
I
smokes our
thought
asses.
you were just gonna stop it. Well, she smokes all of our weed, and I'm like, well, all right then. I don't know what to say to that, but that's how you get Mario. Mario is a name. All right.
Maybe she was just high on some good purple kush.
There is no purple mushrooms in the Magic Kingdom.
Dun dun dun.
It's a me, a Mario, Mario. Oh God, shut up.
Manja.
Oh, that could be why he repeats everything.
Maybe he's got Tourette's.
Maybe he's like the kid from the middle who has to like repeat stuff. Do you know what I'm talking?
Oh yeah.
I found a crayon. A crayon. Maybe he's like that.
You know what I love about the most random show on the internet?
Is that it is really?
It truly lives up to its name.
So I'm gonna launch something over the next few. Like I'm gonna say it's next week, but it might be the week after. I'm gonna start doing video game. Like I'm gonna play the old games I never got a chance to play.
Richard, like I got to be honest with you, one of my favorite things to do on YouTube, and my wife makes fun of me because she's like, "Why don't you just play the games as opposed to watching them?" But I love watching people play games on the internet. Like one of my favorite videos series is James and Mike Mondays.
Cinemassacre.
On Cinemassacre. Like they do the Lord's work over there. And watching them play the old school games that I've played and play the games like that maybe I necessarily didn't get to play is just like fun. Like I love playing video games. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I also do like watching people play. Like my roommate was playing Mario, not Super Mario Odyssey, but it was a different one. I forget which one.
There's a
so
Super
many
Mario
games.
Brothers for the Switch as well that looks really good.
That's the one he was playing. Because it was like the side scrolling. It wasn't the 3D.
Yeah, it's like,
Super
but it's
Mario
3D,
Odyssey.
but it's a side-scrolling 3D, and it looks really fun. Yeah.
Like I love to play games, but I also love watching it. So sitting there watching him play was just as much fun, and especially watching them play games that I necessarily wouldn't play. Like to kind of put it in a perspective. Like I think there's two games coming out this year that I'm super fucking hyped for. One already came out, you can already tell, and the other game coming out this year that I'm super fucking hyped for is Gears of War 5. I love the Gears of War series. So like I love watching people play games that I would want to play because it gets me hyped up. But watching games that I don't play or haven't played is even more fun for me, which is why I like James and Mike Mondays, because they play a lot of the games that I didn't get to play. Because while I did have all the consoles, the games themselves were still super expensive. So I never had like a super big library of games to choose from.
Right.
So
and that's-
watching them play the games that I never got to play is so much fucking fun. So when you said that to me, I got so fucking hyped because it's just another game channel I get to subscribe to.
Yeah, I don't exactly know. It's gonna be. I think I'm gonna put all of our content there, like our podcast, which always gets uploaded to YouTube. And I'm like, I'll add this, and then later on, I'm gonna add more video content. Like it's gonna be a slow process throughout the year. But I was like, hey, video games works. Plus, getting to play games that I never got to play for like 20 minutes at a time just seems like a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what I'm starting with because part of me wants to start off with the original Mario because the only thing I've ever played on that game is level 1.
I I really feel like if you're gonna go and do this, you got to start with like a balls hard game. I really feel like you got to go with like the original Ninja Gaiden,
Oh
or
shit!
everyone's favorite hard game, Ghosts and Goblins.
I did consider Ghost and Goblins. I also have considered. Oh shit! There was another one I've considered too that was just dumb. Like I mean, dumb.
Dude, there have been a ton of dumb fucking games. See the angry video game nerd for more details.
Yeah, I mean, like it was not going to be like dumb, but I mean it was like going to be fun dumb, and I don't remember which one I. What the tits? Crap, my mind blanked. But there's a few where I would okay, and plus Super Nintendo, I've never got to. There was a lot of games on the Super I never got to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of stoked.
Dude, I think that first off, like again, as a writer for the magazine and as a fan, I'm super excited for it. But I think this is just going to open up an avenue to TBK that, I mean, we have a lot of, we're a nerd thing. Like we exist
Which
in the
we
nerd,
do a lot. Yeah,
subspace.
we probably should post more news than we do, but hey, sometimes that gets monotonous. I'm just going to say.
People don't come to TBK to hear about the real world politics.
Oh no, it's not about like
shit.
nerd news, not politics
Oh.
news. No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like with the new show, like occasionally there will be a political topic. Like I think that's just going to be part of it, but it's going to be not to the extent you always think it's going to be. It's not going to be one sided. Because I kind of always fall in the middle on 90% of things. So, because I know one of the shows, I've got the Super Bowl one planned out that goes up tomorrow, and that's the very first one, which will be just on our main channel on iTunes. And then next week, I've got one about how I think social media is nothing but a cesspool. I've got another one of why I think, I mean, there's going to be some funny ones. There's going to be some stupid ones. There's going to be interviews on this show. Like my idea is to go way out of my box, my comfort zone on the interviews, and actually bring in people that I would never talk to on a normal basis on live.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
Next week on Live, Richard reviews a charter member of the KKK.
like I want to actually debate people and have like actually make people, think at times. So it's just going to be me though on that show for most of them. Occasionally I'll have somebody come on, but it's not going to be. It's just going to be 20 minutes of me talking with you, and by you I don't mean you, but I mean like the listener.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I guess it's going to wrap up. Oh yeah, can garlic powder kill a vampire?
Absolutely, it
Yes,
can.
yeah, no. I think it can, unless, and there is an unless here, you get one of those super strong vampires, then I think you're fucked.
Well, there's been so many different types of vampires throughout, the ages. It depends on what type of vamp. If we're talking like the traditional Bram Stoker, like classical version of Dracula and vampires, then absolutely. But then if we're talking about something like, say that movie 30 Days from Night, where they're more feral creatures than they are classical vampires, then it becomes a little hazy. But I think in general, if garlic has the power to like for me, garlic clears the room. Because the moment I put garlic in my mouth, it comes out in such a way that, nobody wants to be within 5 miles of me. If you get my drift, I fart really badly when I eat garlic. So I do think garlic is poisonous to vampires, and there's a chemical component to it that I'm failing to.
But can garlic powder kill it? Like if it's enough, could garlic powder do it? Like I don't know.
Garlic powder on its own? No, fuck no. Like you need to drive a stake, or what you need to do is you need to like put the garlic powder, get them to ingest it. Like, somehow, like if you like blow it in their face or whatever, so it's in their,
and then tie them with a
bloodstream.
silver chain, and then hit them with the stake.
Right. Like it's a paralytic maybe that kind of weakens them to the point where you can maybe fight them more with the chain or the stake, but it's not something I think that would be able to just outright kill them on its own.
It's a fun story. I just pulled my headphone jack out of the headphone plug. So I missed what you said.
Oh, well, that sucks.
That happens.
Well, no, I mean, to kind of just paraphrase, I don't think it could kill them on its own. I think what it does is it weakens their immune system for you to be able to attack them more on your level. Because, obviously their strength is way higher than yours. So I think garlic powder acts as something that brings them down, like the way kryptonite renders Superman a little bit less strong.
Gotcha.
I think garlic is their
Garlic is
kryptonite.
the kryptonite. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Live. I know that we did some random stuff, but we're getting back into the swing of things. February 18th is the Nutsies. You have until February 13th to vote in every category. Do so right now, tbkmagazine.com. Check out all the video games, the videos of me playing the games, which is going to have rolling commentary on them because I apparently am the worst Mario Kart player ever when it comes to losing. So, like when Ashley takes the lead, and in a race, I will just start cursing like a mofo, but I will start making up curse words. So, God, hearing me play could be fun.
I can't say it on air because I don't want to lose viewership. But I said something pretty profane that even I caught myself by surprise.
I usually don't say that, but I have lately the one that like I think I called in the middle of a game. Ashley's usually Toad or Toadette when we do Mario Kart, and I'm usually Rosalina. But when Princess Peach was on my ass in the game, and I called her a ravioli fucker, and Ashley just looked over at me and went,
well, it's in keeping with the Italian heritage
Ashley just
in the Mario series.
Because I just randomly will spout anything that comes to my mind, like, you cunt pickle. And like Ashley will look at me when I said that and she goes, you realize that if you were playing this game with people who did not know you, you would fuck their world up by just randomly yelling shit like that. And I go, I know.
Oh yeah, I get mean. Like the other day I was in a super bad I got to a point in Resident Evil where I just could not get past it. So I started out like I turned into the Oscar Wilde of curse words. Like it was a string of profanities. I don't think I could properly reimagine for you without like fucking it up. It was epic.
It's good times. It's good times.
Good times.
So that's gonna wrap up. Next we'll be back next week. I don't know what's gonna happen on Live. I don't know if Brody will be back with us. He might. I don't fucking know at this point. I never know
I'm
who's
down for every show. I love, like I've said multiple times throughout the show, like I'm not just a person who contributes to the site. I'm also a fan. I love the work that we do here.
You just sounded like, thank you for making this sound like the hair club for men. I'm not also a client.
I'm not the president. I'm also a
client. Yeah. I go, fuck, man. That's it. Those commercials, by the way, great ads.
Classic. Do you remember? No one else seems to remember this. So I'm going to ask you this real quick before we leave. Do you remember the Clio Awards?
The Psychic?
No, Clio. The Clio Awards. It was an award. Like I'm going to Google this right now before we go.
The Clio Awards.
Hold on, let me Google it. I remember this.
Like nobody remembers Homeboys from Outer Space, but apparently me and like two other people in the entire world.
The Clio Awards is an annual award program that recognizes innovation and creative excellence in advertising, design, and communication. Basically, the commercial awards.
Yes, I do. But very, 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 very fragmented.
I mean, same here. Like I remember watching it one year and thinking it was a big deal, but I do remember the Clio Awards. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Interesting. All right, so we're gonna wrap up the show. So anything you would like to add?
Nothing. I mean, like I think we talked a lot. I think we covered a lot of cool shit. I love being on the show.
Next week we'll do more of segment. I'll go ahead and promise that now. Next week's more segmented show. This week was just kind of like got to get back into the flow of things. It's our first episode of Live since Christmas, and we're gonna do a couple of weeks where there'll be more than one episode. Sorry, guys. Especially for Valentine's Day. I kind of decided two things this year. One, Valentine's Day I always usually hate. But
and who doesn't?
But
like honestly,
I usually do a middle finger salute to Valentine's Day every year, and recently I've kind of got lambasted for that by the wife. So this year's Valentine's Day is going to be a dedication to all things horror. So
dude, every year for Valentine's Day, I pick the 10 goriest horror movies I can find,
and The Sound of Music. I just gotta keep saying that because eventually,
Damn, you're really on that Sound of Music being a horror movie kick.
it is. It's creepy. Have you ever seen kids singing that happy? Fuck that shit. So,
But no, like that's so awesome that because every year I pick like the 10 most disgustingly violent horror movies I can find.
we might even call it our second Halloween episode of live. So there's that. But yeah, we'll talk more about that in the coming week, like next week. Guys, to have fun, I guess, watching the big game or the game that two teams are playing that nobody really wants there. I don't know what else to say. Don't forget to check out our new show. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page, which I'll have the link for that in the description of the show. Like I said, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I'm really excited about the new stuff that you got coming down the pike. I think that video game channel is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about all the things that we talked about today. I'm super excited. I'm going to try putting more articles out there. I'm actually I'm going to watch this movie called Suspiria once we hang up, and I'm going to that I've been dying to see. The remake, not the original.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Also, coming. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's also going to be a new featured article on the website of what were they thinking. It's going to take every bad idea ever in the world of marketing and be like, what the hell were they thinking? I've got a few for my first one, and I'm debating it down. So
I think that's a beautiful idea. I agree 110% with what you're doing.
I think, honest to God, it might be Crystal Pepsi. I've sat and was just like,
I like Crystal Pepsi.
I did too. I liked it more growing up than I did the relaunch, but
yeah, sometimes nostalgia works, and sometimes it just kind of doesn't. And that was one instance where it really did.
Another one is the Virtual Boy.
Oh God. Oh, talk about a misfire.
Shit. Like that's one of those that are just like, oh boy. What the fuck? So, all right, man. Thanks for joining us today, Brody.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Next week, same shit, same channel. So we're gonna end the show like we do every show, and that's with Torgo. Torgo, you know what to do, sir. Take us home tonight.
You cannot stay. The master would not approve.
Be my little baby.